All right, guys, we're back. The power went out. I don't even know if anybody can hear me yet. I always have the waiting screen up and I make sure people are here, but I scheduled this and hop right back in because we were cooking. And Emu, it was Emu, man. Emu came in and was like, nah, y'all are spoiling the whole story right now. We gotta put a stop to this. So, you know, the power did what the power does, unfortunately. And it just blipped on and off too. Like it was 2 seconds. Unfortunately. Okay, cool. I think we're good. I can't see the stream on the page. Oh, there. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Hey, the power went out for 1 second. It like blipped on and off, and it was enough to end the whole stream. Sometimes I've heard that what happens is whenever that happens, like you can hurry up and get back on Streamlabs and it'll reconnect to the old stream, but that didn't work. So we're back, unfortunately. Sorry about that. And what's actually so sad about it is I saw some storm cloud, not like storm cloud, but it looked like it was going to rain earlier. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, Dak, you know, maybe you should hurry up and get that one done in case it does start thunderstorming, in case your power goes out. And I was like, then I thought, the power never goes out, honestly. It just, the internet never goes out. I don't know if it's because I live close to the airport. I don't know what it is, but my power almost never goes out. But it did for 1 second this time. So I'm sorry about that, but we're back. Edens, you said, thought the stream ended. Well, technically the last one did. The last one is a separate video now, but I'll figure it out. Whenever this is done, whenever we get through all this, I'll name them part 1 and 2. It sucks it had to be on this chapter. Of all the chapters for that to happen, it had to be this chapter. It's Emu, though. Right, it's Emu, it's Oda. They're calling the hit in. It is what it is. So we're back, though. We're back. Sorry about that. Steve Irwin, welcome back. I don't even know if you were here in the first time, Steve Irwin, but welcome. Well, yeah, thank you guys. Rapo, you said it's all your fault. Do you have an in with Emu? I need you to talk to Emu. For one thing, I need you to clarify what the D means. that's the. If you could talk to Emu can keep cutting out my power. That's fine. But you need to go talk to Emu about what the D means. That's what I need. Maybe just combine them and release as a video. It's tough because like I technically could, but I've never done something like that, and that's like an algorithm. That's like a haymaker for the algorithm for me, because like I don't usually do these kind of, like, I barely show my face on the camera, which like is fine because I do like on the sponsorships and things like that, but like to put up a multi-hour video that's a reaction that's like super unscripted, that's like very different from all my other videos, like the algorithm would probably have a stroke not knowing what to do with because like there's going to be way different types of people looking at that than normal. So like I don't know, I could, but I think I'll just leave these streams as part 1 and 2. I'll probably change the thumbnail to say like part 1 or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's unfortunate, but we're here. I see there's 55 people here. Could release on redacted. Yeah, I could do that. I could technically release it as one thing. The other thing I got to consider is that my computer already hates doing multi-hour videos, but like whenever I do the redacted videos, dude, my computer, half the time I don't even know if it's actually going to happen. By the way, if anybody, I doubt that anybody still has it open, but if anybody still hasn't closed their tab from the other stream, so you still have the chat option available, because once it ends once it turns into like a video or whatever, the chat goes away. But I think if you leave the tab open, you can still type in the chat. If anybody still does have access to it, go like share a link to this stream. But yeah, unfortunately, Emu cooked us. Vasil Vlad Ivanovic, you said, so like rest in peace, unread super chats. No, I have them over here. I still have them. Don't worry. I still have a lot to go through too, but I'm kind of waiting just a little bit because I want some more people to show up, because I don't want to read all of them if the people aren't here yet. You know what I mean? So you know what? Maybe what I'll do is I'll just start reading the ones for people that I know are here. And then once we get through those, then I'll go back through and read everyone's who may or may not be here. So heads up, if you're wondering where your super chat is, definitely type in the chat if there's one I haven't read yet, just so I know that you're here, and I'll read yours first, and we will get to the other ones later. I'm not going to skip any of them, just going out of order. That's all. Good vibes. You said I got the notification. That's good. I didn't know if it would do that or not. That's also why I made the title what I made it. So that way if somebody got it, they knew, oh, okay, this is the new stream. It's not, something else. But all right, Friend Harper's here, Brandon King's here, Juvial's here, Rapo's here, Vasil Vlad's here. I'm gonna start with you guys. Let's see. I just read K Ravens. Friend Harper, you're next anyway, so we'll do Friend Harper. Wait, I think I did this one. Or I see it. One just says. One of the donations just says Biori Gigi. That's it. It doesn't say what Gigi donated. It doesn't say Gigi subscribed. It doesn't say anything. It just says Biori Gigi. So Gigi, that was probably your gifted memberships, but it's just not coming through on Streamlabs. But thank you for whatever that was, because I know you donated anyway. Yeah, and actually, I'm going back through. I do have most of, because K Raven, I read that one where you said, think Dragon carries Rocks' will. All of them below that actually got erased, but the ones above it I can see still, so we're good. So Friend Harper, we'll just start there. Thank you for the $10. My prediction, Dragon gets Shaki off the island by going rogue and gets her home. Rayleigh does the fighting to save her, but can't leave his crew to do that for her. Meets the third Empress doing that. So I guess I'm confused. What's the so do you think there's some story there with him and the third Empress then, with Toritoma? Because he technically already met her, right? Because whenever they went on the ship, on the Kuja ship, whenever like Toritoma was carrying all the fan letters or whatever, like I don't think we actually saw them talk, but they probably know each other exist. Like they probably met at least, in that sense. They're acquaintances. But was there like more that you thought was going to come off of that? I'm just curious. I do think it's interesting that Dragon would have a role in saving Shaki, because I mean his name is Dragon, and Shaki, or the whole Amazonian tribe are like based off snakes, and I mean Eastern dragons at least are kind of like snakes, they just fly. So like I've always thought there's like a cool potential story there. You think about Kaido, he's kind of like a sea snake, sort of like he's, I don't know, a lot of people interpret that differently, but he is a fish that's a dragon that's kind of like a snake. You look at the sea snakes or whatever, the god snakes in Skypiea. I always thought there's like a weird snake dragon thing going on, so I could definitely see Dragon, the guy named Dragon, building a connection with Amazon Lily. But Dragon meeting her for the Luffy mom theory. Wouldn't... Oh, so you're saying that Dragon would go home and take her to Amazon Lily and then meet Toritoma there. I thought you were saying Rayleigh is going to meet Toritoma, and I'm like, well, what? I was confused why because Rayleigh's obviously with Shaki, so I was like, well, what? I didn't know where Rayleigh meeting Toritoma went. So you're saying Dragon meets the third Empress by taking Shaki. I should have probably noticed that originally, but now it makes sense. Now I get it. Now I'm on the same page as you. Personally, I'm not on the Toritoma as Luffy's mom train. I would go as far to say I shouldn't say it's definitely not happening, because like we don't have enough information to say yes or no, but I would be beyond shocked if that ends up being true. Personally, I don't think that's going to end up being Luffy's mom. I don't think she's going to get introduced in an SBS. I also think the love sickness thing doesn't line up, because she died after Luffy was like 6 or whatever, and I mean, I know people say like, oh, maybe it was love sickness for, she was away from her son. Personally, I think like maybe for some moms that could be a touching story, but I feel like for Luffy's mom, for her to die because her son got taken away when he's still alive, it's just like, you're supposed to keep fighting to go see him again. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't fit as well for me. And if she had a kid with Dragon, then even if Dragon was like, well, we can't see each other anymore, it's like, well, they had a kid together. Like, she shouldn't die at that point. She kind of got what she was hoping for, even if she doesn't have like a lifelong relationship with him. So for me, I'm not too big on that, but I think Dragon having a connection with Amazon Lily in general is, I think, probably on point for the reasons I said earlier, and because like I don't know, like the Amazonians are just so important. You know, Luffy did get sent there by Kuma, which some people think is evidence that maybe Luffy is from there and that's the story. But again, going back to why I don't think that's going to be Luffy's mom, if the idea is that Luffy grew up in Amazon Lily, or like maybe not even lived there the whole time, but was in Amazon Lily at all when he was growing up, and then he got sent there and he didn't immediately say like, oh, I remember this place. Like, he should have said that. So then it's kind of like there's a lot of pieces to weave together. So I don't think that's going to be Luffy's mom personally, but I'd still like the idea that that you're kind of saying where Dragon actually saved Shaggy. Like, Rayleigh's going to need to get some credit because he obviously, you know, gets to marry Shaggy eventually, and she also left that note like, come and make me yours, or whatever it was. So there's definitely, you know, Rayleigh's going to do something to save her, but I think it could be cool if Rayleigh like steps in and saves Shaggy like from an attack or from somebody grabbing her, and he like looks at Dragon and is like, you like take her and get out of here. And but I don't know how that like that would have to be after Dragon already decided to leave the Marines, I guess, because like why would Rayleigh trust him? But that could make a cool Rayleigh Dragon connection, I feel like. I don't know. Oh, and still can't beat the Kuja only have girls though, so I still have my own doubts. I didn't even think about that. That's also a good point. Yeah, that's actually like really good evidence for that not being the case. That's actually I've never even thought about that, but that's like a really, because I think what people could say is that Luffy's just a miracle child. They finally had a boy and it's him. Like, I think that's probably what people would say. But even I've never even made that simple connection. Fish equal dragon equal snake. Yes, Nick. That's that's our lesson today. That's what you're learning in school today, is that fishes are actually dragon. See, I always get that confused. Is it because fish and fishes? I think you can use either. Like, either can be plural as long as you're confident about it. But yeah, so fish equal dragons, which also equals snakes. Yes, that is what we're learning today in biology. Luffy sprouted out of thin air. I'm still big on the agenda that Luffy's mom is just a celestial dragon, and that, you know, Dragon fell in love with her because she was like one of the good ones. Like, she was trying to preach for them to change, and then at some point, you know, he had to sneak Luffy out of there and she died. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that could, you know, work out, but I feel like that would hit the hardest, because then Dragon's people are gonna look at him like, wait, you were married to a celestial? You're married to the enemy? Like, what? What's that? What? And so I think that would be just a really cool story. Croderick, you said, by the way, in Finnish, dragon is Lohikarme. There's no way I'm saying that right, but something like that, which means salmon snake. That's crazy. That's actually pretty cool. Luffy's mom is a holy knight. Trust deck. I mean, maybe. Definitely a celestial dragon. The thing with the holy knights now, though, is it seems like a lot of them are not pure blood, which like that wouldn't mean that wouldn't like ruin any parts of this theory, but I do think that's a little bit of an important caveat, where like it seems like, you know, celestial dragons are not, or the gods knights are, you know, only half celestial dragons, or at least some of them that we know of. So that might be like a little like then there'd be like more of a story to tell, where I feel like her being a pure blood celestial dragon would be, it'd be like more fitting, because then if she's coming out and speaking out against what the celestial dragons do, it hits a little harder, because like for a God's Knight, like you're probably not even going to be invited if you're against what the government's doing, right? Like if you're a God's Knight and you start saying like, no, this is bad, we need to treat people with respect, they're just going to kick you out because you're already like a half-blood. Like they probably don't care as much. But if you're pure-blooded and like maybe from like an important family or something, and you're the one coming out and saying like, hey, y'all need to stop doing this. Like with Mjosgard, that was why his like words were so important. So I think if she is going to be, you know, a good person, she won't be a God's Knight, but I mean, I'm here for it if that's what happens. I mean, I'm sure Oda would have a story to tell with it. Maybe she was doing stuff in secret. But I like the idea that she was, like, openly preaching it. Because, like, Luffy's not the kind of guy to ever hide the way he feels about things. And I want his mom to be kind of similar. So we'll see. But, yeah, something in the Holy Land for sure. For sure. All right, I'm going to get back to the Super Chat so I can actually get done with those. Because for all we know, Emu or Enel or whoever is going to take out my power again. I actually keep hearing my air conditioner go through like these cycles, and that always scares me because like a week ago my power it didn't go out all the way, but it started like almost kind of flickering. Like the lights never went all the way out, but like the air conditioner was like debating turning off, and it's because somebody hit a telephone pole down the street. So every time I hear my air conditioner change its mode, I get some like PTSD from that. But hopefully we're good. Hopefully nothing happened. K Raven, I'm curious if Caribou has a sort of prophetic ability or knew of Blackbeard's lineage. Excited to see how Dragon and Garp begin to clash on ideals of justice. Yeah, about Caribou, like, I wonder if, because Wang Ji is still alive, and so if Wang Ji ends up being Caribou's dad, I think there could be a world where they met. And maybe Wang Ji was able to tell him, like, yeah, like, there's this guy named Rocks, and maybe he knows that Blackbeard is his kid somehow. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I guess he's probably here at God Valley, right? So maybe he sees. So he might actually know, because a lot of the other Rocks pirates probably die here because they became zombies, right? From Thriller Bark, and if we assume that Thriller Bark's a chunk of God Valley, then all that kind of connects. So the ones who made it out of here confirmed, probably, like, Whitebeard should know that Blackbeard was Rox's kid at this point, right? Because, I mean, it depends if Whitebeard actually lays eyes on Teach, but, like, now, like, because remember, Rox says earlier, like, he kept it from his crew, like, he didn't tell him about his special name or his family or whatever. But if Rox is going to jump on the island and go try to save some people, and he goes and saves this little kid in particular, you would think that would make him think twice about, like, well, who's that? You know, like, he might, like, maybe Whitebeard doesn't know for sure that that's his kid, but maybe he knew whenever he met Blackbeard, like, you're that kid from God Valley. Like, I think you might be his son, but I don't know, and I'm not gonna like get into it. I don't know. Thriller Bark mentioned, Vex says. That's interesting. But yeah, so I got way off base here. What was the original question, K Raven? If Caribou has a prophetic ability. So what I was getting at with that long diatribe was, maybe Caribou went and met his dad, and his dad told him, like, yeah, there's this guy, a pirate out there that's Rox's kid, and, you know, he's special, blah, blah, blah. Like, maybe he knew a thing or two about it, and he just told Caribou. Because Caribou, like, I don't know if it would be a prophetic ability, because Caribou is, like, a sneaky son of a bitch, right? Like he snuck in and like overheard the Shirahoshi Poseidon stuff and the Pluton stuff. So that's how he gets a lot of his important information. So I think it could be something similar. Maybe Caribou doesn't even know that Wang Ji is his dad. Maybe he just snuck into Pirate Island for a different reason and overheard it. I don't know, but I think that might make more sense. And I'm also excited to see how Dragon and Garp clash on their ideals of justice as well. Like I think what'll happen is Dragon will see what's going down and be like, I'm not participating. Like, yes, he did shoot some people with the tranquilizer darts, which is already bad. But I think he's going to eventually get to the point where he's like, I am not helping with this. This is crazy. Like, no, this is bad. And he might even go to Garp and be like, Dad, what are you doing? We got to get out of here. And Garp might be like, son, like, you're too young to understand. I don't know. He'll have some speech, but it will be kind of cool where Dragon will see this and be like, I'm not doing this. And Garp will be like, okay, well, I got to protect these people. And I don't know. That'll be a really cool conversation when we get it, for sure. Gross Stonks, member for 21 months. Was Rock's death the reason Harold tore his horn? So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Well, somebody brought up the horns, and I went on a diatribe about this, but I don't, like, it's either that he's sad about Rocks dying, or when Rocks died, he's like tearing him out for like forgiveness to the government. Like, I failed. Here's some proof that I really am sad that this happened. I still want to make it work. Like, it's one of the two. I kind of hope it's the former now, because I hope after Rocks dies, I hope there's something here that tells them, like, you know, that the government's not who you need to listen to. You know, like, the government is obviously bad if they're doing things like this. So hopefully he changes his tune after this. I don't know. Doran Ross, you said, I think we need to rethink Davy or Davy Jones. We do, because it, like, so again, if we're going back to some of the, I don't know if I want to call them meme theories, but they kind of sound like that, where, you know, we were saying like the Davy Jones thing, or Davy Teach or whatever, with Tony Chopper and those kind of like naming schemes. One thing about Davy Jones that I always thought was interesting is you could read his name as, like, instead of Davy Jones, like the first name is just Hody, it could be Ho-D Jones, which it's not technically that, but that would be really interesting because obviously we have the D part of it, but Ho means whale, right? Ho, like Neptune's whale pet was literally named Ho, because isn't that the word for a whale? I can't remember. I think it's something like that. But either way, so if it was Ho-D Jones, it's like whale Davy Jones, and you know, I've had a lot of theories about Davy Jones tying to whales and stuff like that. So I don't know. I do think we need to rethink Davy Jones. You may have not meant it the same way, Doran, so I'm curious on what you were saying, but Davy Jones, I do think, needs to be rethought a little bit now with this new context. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici, I see you got a two-part super chat, so I'll read both these. Sorry it took so long, and sorry for everybody. I see we're almost up to 100 people, so anybody who wasn't here earlier, my power went out, and that's why the other stream abruptly ended. I apologize. We hop right back on. Unfortunately, I couldn't like save the old stream, so it'll be a two-parter, but it is what it is. But you said, just came in with a theory to sell you. Dragon will save Toddlerbeard. I like that. Dragon will save Toddlerbeard by killing a Celestial, making him the most wanted man in the world. Zebek will betray his own crew for the sake of his family. Dragon will earn his respect and inherit his will. Also, Toddlerbeard will get so traumatized he'll never be able to close his eyes. Okay, multiple interesting things here. Very interesting. So I like this idea that Dragon kills a Celestial to save Toddlerbeard. I like that you guys are pushing these theories about Dragon and Blackbeard being tied, because whenever I saw those two panels and I thought Dragon was saving Blackbeard, I was like so pumped, because that's like I said, Dragon saving Luffy's enemy. That's just such a cool narrative thing. But obviously he's with Shanks, so if there is a story with Dragon and Teach, like, I'm all for it. So I love these theories. So I'm with you on that so far. Then that could make him the most wanted man in the world, as he actually killed a Celestial. And I wonder which Celestial Oda would pick. Like, would it be a God's Knight? I don't know if Dragon's strong enough at 17 years old to beat a legit God's Knight, but maybe, like, I don't know who would make sense at this. Because, like, I would want to say, like, Charlos's dad, but he's still alive, or Mjosgard's dad, but he was still alive after this point, so it's not him. I don't know who it would be. I don't know who. Probably just a random one. Maybe, like, a inconsequential one. I don't know, but yeah, I'm with you so far. And then you said Zebek will betray his own crew for the sake of his family. So that one, I could almost see the opposite. But, like, I don't think he will betray his family for his crew, but rather his crew will betray him. And then maybe that might necessitate Dragon helping to save Teach, because now Rocks isn't there. And so, in that sense, Dragon would inherit his will, because he's almost, like, the will to at least, like, protect Blackbeard for that time period. Man, I feel like there's a million different ways this can go. Like, you definitely have sold me on the first part. I love that idea, but Zebek betraying his crew. It's kind of like some of them do die here, but so does Rocks apparently. So that's where I'm like, I could see him betraying some of them since they die, but then he also dies, so they would have to betray him back. But then he also might just die strictly because of Garp and them. Man, this is tough. But I do think, but Dragon inheriting his will in some aspect, I agree with, and then Toddler Beard being so traumatized he can never close his eyes. So I assume you're saying that, like, because the trauma's so bad that whenever he closes his eyes or he goes to sleep, all he gets are, like, nightmares from this event, I assume is what you're getting at. And that's... I like that. I mean, I definitely think he's going to have nightmares on it and think about it a lot. But I also go back to that line about how people from snow countries don't sleep. And we haven't seen Blackbeard's home country because he wasn't actually born here. He was brought here, so his mom must be from the snow country. Technically speaking, Rocks could be born from a snow country, and that's it. But there's also that part of it. So I don't know. I don't know how all that ties together. I don't know. You got me on at least half of it. You got me to the point where I like what you're cooking. You know, I'm definitely game for that happening. I don't know if it will, but I gotta see this, man. I hope this happens next week. Maybe not everything, because then Oda's going real fast, and he's already going pretty fast. But if he can even get to, if we can just stay here at God Valley for a while, I'm ready for it. Hopefully we get these answers soon. Alejandro Solis, member for 22 months. Final Saga Oda, 9 fruit chest, time for another video. Dude, I know. Oda, how does this happen? Like, I'm just going to go back to chapter 1090, well, is it 1095 or 1096 where we see them? I think it's, yeah. So look, guys, I mean, how, is this like officially a retcon? Because like the pillars are even in a different organization. So I'm like, because it's like, I was thinking in my head, like, how else could this work? Like maybe somebody came and just stole 3 of the pillars in between this moment and the moment we saw, but they're not even organized the same. Like in the panel we saw originally, they're in rows of 3, like vertical rows, like stacked, like one in front of the other. This one, they're like in a circle, so it wouldn't even make sense. Like someone would have to go and rearrange them, which like in Shonen, I mean, you know, maybe I'm taking it too literally, but like, is this like, that's like a retcon. It's like right in our face too. So weird. It's so, I don't know. Also, Bedcrumb Show. You said Davy D. Shanks, and I know I have a way more super chats to get through. I know, and I need to stop getting distracted. It's my fault. But you saying that made me think that like if God Valley is the, you know, the, like, if the thing that Garling found at God Valley were members of the Davy clan, like people actually related to Davy Jones, which, well, actually, let me go back up. Hold on. So, I'm trying to think, like, because Garling went there almost 2 years before this happened, right? Because Shanks was born 39 years ago, and so he would have had to have visited 9 months before that in order, you know, for enough time to go by for him to actually be born. So that means that, like, Garling got there, like, right after Blackbeard was born, so I don't even know if Blackbeard and his mom would have been on the island yet. Because, like, he does say 2 years ago I had a kid, and so I sent my family way back to my hometown, but that's almost the same time that Garling got there. So if we assume that Blackbeard was there, which, again, the timeline's pretty close, but if we assume he was there and Garling met him, how did he know? Like, how did he figure out that they were members of the Davy clan or the Davy family? Or is the situation that Or did he not find Blackbeard, but instead found Shanks's mom, and maybe Shanks's mom is also a member of this clan? Because remember, if Rocks is a member of the Davy clan and he's from God Valley, that would mean that there's probably other Davy family members that are from God Valley. So could Shanks's mom have been one? And that's what Garling was talking about, which then means that Shanks is also a descendant of Davy and Shamrock, because his mom is. Is that possible? Because then we have I know Shanks is Fagarland Shanks, but that's just because of his dad's family name. But if his mom was Davy, whatever her name is, we don't know what her name is. Then that means him and Blackbeard are also related. So then him and Blackbeard are like cousins, or I don't know what they're gonna be, huh? Schloop, you said, just finished taking the LSAT. About to go back and watch the reaction later. Appreciate you. By the way, congrats on that. I hope you did really, really well. And so the original one got cut off because the power got cut out, FYI. So there's going to be 2 of them. So just so you know. You can't find the original yet. It's unlisted. So once I'm done with this, I will correctly title them and release them both. Maybe I should put this on redacted as a separate thing. I don't know. Because then I could also cut out like the intro and just go straight to the start of the chapter. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. But either way, I will make the streams live, so you'll have them eventually. But anyway, let me go back and let me get actually caught up on the super chat. I'm actually going to get caught up on the supers now. I promise you. I'm going to stop getting distracted. Rapo, I see you got 2 here. Why is Dragon shooting people for training only? And seems he does not have a clear sense of justice or morals. Yeah, because you can see that he's not happy about it, right? He's already like, hey, let's not do this. And he's going up to the other people on the island like, hey, if you don't fight, I won't have to shoot you. Like, just let me detain you. And they're like, I don't know about that. And I think this is where Dragon's learning, like man, this isn't my sense of justice. Even if I don't know what mine is, this ain't it. And so he's only shooting the tranquilizer darts or whatever. So he's not actually killing anyone, but it is still like questionable. And I think it's cool because it shows Dragon really gave this a chance, right? He's like, let me see what my dad's all about. He's been preaching about this. I want to go stop bad guys. I don't like, all this bad stuff happening. But then he gets here and he's like, dude, I'm hurting innocent people. What the? So I think this is him learning through that, right? Which is pretty cool. I think I kind of prefer him doing he didn't kill anybody. If he killed somebody, then we got unless it's a celestial dragon later, then we got some problems. If he can't kill any innocent people, but shooting him with tranquilizers, I think, is a pretty cool kind of middle ground. So yeah, it is interesting. And then Vasil Vladivanovici, you just said, sorry for the mess, wrote it in a hurry. Dude, no need to apologize. It honestly means a lot that you would super chat again just to apologize to her. But no, you did great. It was also very understandable where, and it's completely okay. No shade, but sometimes people work really hard to max out the character limits in these super chats, which I get because the character limits are way too small. But no, you did great, man. Thank you. And like I said, you sold me on half of it. You sold me that the whole thing's a good idea. Half of it, I'm totally on board with already. I think you're on the money. Just Dennis. Dude, we went over this. We went over this last time. Hold on, the HUF Hungarian. Oh, it's Hungarian something. So obviously it's not francs, is it? Now I gotta look it up. Forint. It's forint. Damn it. Hungarian forint. I'm gonna remember. I remembered the Hungarian part. Just Dennis. I'm getting there. The fact that I remembered that I was supposed to say. Also, I'm supposed to be doing chats for people that are here. I got off topic, but we're pretty far. We have 100 people here, so we're getting there. Brandy King, I'm almost to yours. We're getting very close. D doesn't mean Davy. If they found the first D members in 800 years in God Valley, but had Garp and Dragon the Marines, it doesn't make sense. Try to invite JB or O'Hara for redacted. Well, as for that, there's a difference between being blood related to Davy Jones and then having the D, because you can inherit the D without being related to him. Like with the Sabo thing, like they exchange all the sake cups and like, well, now you're Sa Debo. So it's like the D initial isn't just blood. So I don't know if that means the same thing as being like born from it, which we covered all this already. So maybe you probably sent this before I said it all, because I'm like so far behind now. But yeah, I'm thinking what they're saying is like for the first time in 800 years, we found people literally related to Davy Jones, like blood related, literal descendants. But there are other D clan members, which might, if the D does mean Davy, it would just mean like these are people who are, you know, enacting on that will. Like they're all behaving like him or chasing that same thing, but they aren't actually blood related. So the middle initial could mean that you're not blood related, but having it as your actual last name means you are blood related. At least that's what it would mean. I'm not sure if the D does mean Davy or not. I think it's the fact that there's not a clear answer from even the people who know kanji way better than me is telling me it's probably a little ambiguous. So I'm not sure, but definitely they're definitely meaning at the end here we found people related to Davy Jones. So that's for sure. And then also you said try to invite JB or Ohara for Redacted. So I've reached out to JB a few times and he has not answered me on Discord for a while. He's not a big Discord guy in general. So I haven't been able to reach him. So my last message to him was about the Booms, the books he read, because it took me way too long, because I think I mentioned it a bunch of times. I was supposed to read like other manga, and I was like, I'm not going to read anything else until I read the Booms. And I finally read the Booms. This was like a month ago now. And I messaged him, and it was awesome, by the way. If you guys haven't read the Booms by JB, genuinely, it's a good series. I'm not just saying that just because, you know, he's another One Piece YouTuber, he's my friend or whatever, but it was genuinely a good series. Like, there was one moment, I'm not going to spoil you guys, but there was one moment that reminded me a lot of like a Klabautermann situation, and that I was like hyped. Like my blood pressure definitely went up, because I was like, that scene was awesome. But the whole series is great, called The Booms. Definitely recommend it. And as far as Ohara, I have never collabed with him or really talked to him that much, so I can't say that's likely. I think the more likely thing would be that he started that podcast called Drinks Sake, not just even Drink Sake, but Drink Sake, which is a little too close to Dak Sake, if you ask me. So I think if anyone should be inviting anyone anywhere, he should be inviting me on to Drink Sake personally. Because he's taken a handful of my thumbnails before, so I'm like, well, hey man, I think it's your turn. I think it's your turn to do something for me instead of taking stuff from me. So we'll see. If he wants to invite me, I'll do that. But I don't see me starting it, I guess is what I'm getting at. But good vibrations with the $5. A weakened Garp that is hypnotized via Lafitte could be a valuable source of information about God Valley and rocks for Blackbeard. Also, Blackbeard has pudding. Yep, I agree with that. And then you also said Emu could be Domi reversied via Gunko and kill rocks. Or Emu could Domi reversi via... So you're saying like Emu could Domi reversi via Gunko and kill rocks. Are you saying that like Emu is gonna Domi reversi everyone else to hurt rocks? Or are you saying that they're gonna Domi reversi rocks and then make him die, like go jump in the water or something? You know what? Because I could see kind of both. The thing with Domi reversi is like this happens a lot in One Piece, where we get introduced to like a new thing that blows our minds, and then we start guessing that like with Harold and Loki, we're like, oh, they got Domi reversied, and like maybe that did happen. I based off the panel, I don't see like the wings and stuff, so I don't think so. But we do this a lot where we want to find like, okay, wait, Emu used Domi reversi here. Where's all the other important places Emu used it? So like, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that this happens a lot where Oda introduces something, then we start wanting to use it in other places, and I'm not 100% if that is going to happen. I could see it, and I think it'd be really cool, like maybe Rocks is there and Imu Domi reverses like all the Gods Knights or the other Celestials or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. But I also would open the door to maybe Rocks literally just losing to just the people that we already know of. You know what I mean? We also know Saturn was there, so like maybe he does something. But if there is a Domi Reversi, I mean, Domi reversing Rocks' crew to hurt him would make sense. But also Domi reversing Rocks himself. But like if you did that, I mean, you would just have him go jump in the water, I guess, or just stab himself, right? Which would be kind of anticlimactic. But then even the Domi reversing his crewmates, like I think that could be kind of cool, but it could also be like they might betray him anyway. You know what I mean? They're not like the same kind of crew like Luffy and the Straw Hats are, so they might just do it anyway. So I guess I'm a little 50-50 on it. Like it could happen. I'm just pumping the brake because I feel like a lot of people are expecting it or want it to happen, and it might just not. Like Domi Reversi, I'm sure it's going to be really important, especially after this, because we're already seeing it in Elbaf. I'm sure we'll see it again in the story. But I wouldn't bet on it being used in all these other cases, because like I don't know. I mean, I also look back to Imu meeting Rocks in the flower room, and it's like, why not just do it there and get rid of him kind of deal? Like then, because then if this guy's going to be a thorn in your side, I mean, why not kill him in general, even without Domi Reversi? But if the idea was that Imu like can't because he's too strong or something, then Domi Reversi you would think could do it. So I don't know. Long-winded way of saying maybe, I guess. But I love the Garp idea. Let me go back to that and just talk about that, because I love that. The Garp gets hypnotized by Luffy, and he could give some information, or the Blackbeard, or the pudding power thing. And I think the pudding powers part is really pertinent, because obviously that's where they'll be able to literally steal the memories, but also a little issue that I've had with it, not even issue, but just something to think about, is Garp should have enough hockey to stop Pudding from doing it, right? Like, if Big Mom and Kaido have enough hockey to stop Law from teleporting them, I feel like Garp should have enough to stop Pudding from using her powers, I would think. But if we bring this hypnotization, that's a hard word to say, this hypnotization thing, then maybe they hypnotize Garp so that he's not fighting back at all, and then they do the memory thing, and then that's how we get around that. I think that would work too, or just the hypnotization. Screw, whatever. It can be either of them. And I do want to. I saw a couple chats I want to respond to, but I will. I got to get through these last handful. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici for £2. So like rip unread super chats. Nope, I got you right now. Debus with the Canadian $7. I don't know if it was mentioned already, but Imagine Dragon got his devil fruit from the chest he put Shanks in. That's great. I love that actually, Debus. So like maybe he went to go put Shanks in a chest and was like, wait, there's a devil fruit in here, and then he just took it. That's actually really cool. I was more so thinking he was given it because it's a wind. If he has the wind fruit, we're all I'm basing it off that, because it's a really strong Logia, and the admirals all get Logias, but some like Smoker is not an admiral, but he still has one. So it's like maybe they give a lot of their top guys Logias in general, so that way they can't even get hit unless it's a hockey user. So like most people, there is like no issue. So then it would make sense that he got it from the government there. But even then, like, who cares? Like, they could just put the wind fruit in the chest. So I love that idea, Debus. Bean Boy with the $20 super chat. The last meeting between Rocks and Harold on the ship was a fake fight, so Rocks could escape. Okay. The world government will eventually suspect him of letting Rocks go, and that is how Harold ends up murked by his Domi Reversied guards. I actually like that. I'm not sure. Man, I really like it. Like the way their altercation ended, it feels like that's not what would have happened. Because like it feels like they're really fighting. But then again, I mean, that's how Oda, like, if Oda's gonna build up this reveal, then it's gonna be done through hiding it. Like, if he made it obvious now that they're not actually fighting, then we would already kind of know. So I actually really like that idea. Because, like, maybe he could have stopped Rocks here. And you know what this reminds me of? I wanted to mention this, by the way. This meeting of Harold coming out here and stopping Rocks out at sea, and then, like on his way, like intercepting him on his way to a giant battle. It reminds me of Shanks and Kaido a little bit. Not the exact same, but, Kaido and Harold already kind of parallel. So it's, a little bit of that. Like, not like both of them made it part way, but apparently didn't go all the way there. But it could be that, like, yeah, I guess Harold, maybe they're just doing this because that surveillance ship is over there. And maybe what Rox has told him, like, protecting your family, Harold might be like, yeah, you know what? That's good. That's a good thing. I'm not going to stop you from saving your family. But he didn't want to get in trouble himself. So I like that, actually, Bean Boy. You're actually cooking. The more I think about it, you're probably cooking. And then later on, they find out that he actually let him live. And maybe that's why he tears out the horns. Maybe because they even confront him about it. And he's like, well, look, I'm serious about working with you guys, too. Like, I did try to kill Rocks and I failed. Like, I mean, I don't know. I love it. That's actually a really good theory. Nickel Vento, a member for 14 months. Why would Garling want Davy clan kids? I don't know, but I love the idea. I have no idea why. Like, you would think Emu would say that's a no-go, right? You would think that's get rid of those kids right away. But bro, I think that idea is so cool. Like, that Shanks and Blackbeard are cousins, essentially. I'm all about it. I think that'd be awesome. Debus, Canadian $7 again. Garling telling the Gorosei about the Davy clan would parallel Shamrock telling him about Blackbeard. Blackbeard being a Davy would be what he told the Gorosei. So you're talking about the meeting in chapter 9-0, whatever it was. And remember how Saturn said, like, his lineage was important. Remember in Egghead when Augur and Devon were there and he said his lineage is important? Maybe that's, like, Garling went and told the Gorosei the Davy clan's there, and then Shamrock went and told the Gorosei that Blackbeard is a member of the Davy clan. I'm with Debus. You're cooking this week, man. You have all the burners on, my guy. That's big time. Vasil Vladivanovici with the £5. You think that maybe the first ever Davy back fight was over the ancient weapons? That's a cool idea. Like, I've always loved the idea that the first Davy back fight was to get Davy back, like, because Davy back fight, like, why is it named the Davy back? Like, it's just a weird, and maybe in the kanji it doesn't make as much sense, right? Maybe that's an English, self-serving language thing. But over the ancient weapons would be kind of cool. Especially if the ancient weapons are, like, living things. Like because Shirahoshi we know is one, but, like, Pluton, it's the thing under Wano. I always say it's a mole, or like a ship with a mole fruit, which would still make it a mole and still make it alive, but a little bit of a different situation. Like Lassu and Funkfried are alive, but they can also just be objects for part of the time. So they're a little bit weirder, but that's interesting, Vlad. That is interesting. I feel like I would probably say no, though, because the ancient weapons all don't belong to the government right now. And, like, I mean, I guess the idea could be, like, the past Poseidon died, and so it doesn't mean that, like, the next Poseidon has to be under their control. But they do also say, like, Poseidon gets reincarnated, so it's like it is kind of the same. Like, it's the same power. The Sea Kings have been there the whole time. So, like, I guess we're just kind of wondering if that counts as a means of transfer or whatever, like to end the debate or like end the control or whatever, like from the fight. But I think that's an interesting idea at the very least. And if the first Davy back fight was over Davy, then maybe that is like a Domi Reversi thing, or like even a hypnotism thing, because like maybe Davy got controlled by the opposition, and so then his crew is like, all right, let's have a big match to get him back on our side, like for you to give our friend back, like something like that. but the ancient weapons is a good idea too, man. I like that. Good vibrations. $2. Oh, from earlier. I meant Emu possesses Gunko and gets her lick back. So I mean, I guess maybe it's just my interpretation, but I'm not thinking that Emu has to use Gunko. Like, I don't, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying either, but I would almost think that Emu would use somebody else because, like, I mean, I don't know how long Gunko's been a part of the Gods Knights or whatever, but like now, like, because now in Elbaf, Gunko's been a member for a really long time, so I get why, like, I don't know why she's going on all these missions and being given these important things or whatever, but like this early, like, is she brainwashed enough for that to work? Because that seems to be kind of part of it, is like, you know, Gunko was brainwashed and then started remembering some Brook stuff, and then Emu's like, nope, I'm taking back over. This is probably not that long after the Brook thing, so I don't know. I guess I just don't know if Emu would use Gunko of all people. Maybe. Gunko's so new at this point. But it doesn't take away even from what you were saying, though, because you were bringing up just Domi reverse someone and kill rocks. I mean, yeah, Emu pulling up, I'm all for. I think if Emu did, it might just be literally Emu, like, just like in the flesh, you know, like, or maybe if the Thriller Bark monster is Emu. Oh, dude, that's probably what it would be. If the Thriller Bark monster is Emu, which I know I have a video on, and I am not the first person. There's a million people who've done that. Or not a million, but a lot of people. Well, if this is a chunk, or if Thriller Bark is a chunk of God Valley, then maybe Emu pulls up in the Thriller Bark monster form because it's, you know, future Thriller Bark, and that's the kind of parallel Oda's going for. I really like that. Because, yeah, it could be Gunko or another God's Knight or another Celestial Dragon, and Emu just pops in and is like, hey, we gotta talk, or I gotta fix this or whatever. But Emu pulling up themselves in the Thriller Bark monster form, that's what I want. Rapo, I see you keep saying to read the super chat over and over. I'm pretty sure I read them all. I remember I read one that you said was far-fetched. I remember that. I'm trying to scroll back through because I don't have all the old ones, but I'm pretty sure I read it. Yeah, I read the only ones I have from you in this session are the dragon shooting one and the morals. But I know you had one earlier that said something far-fetched. That you like it. You said that in the chat, right? So I know I read that at some point, but it might be in the other part of the stream. I can't remember. But I know I read it, and I don't have it anymore. So actually, I would have had to have read it in the original part of the stream. So I don't have it anymore. But if you want to try letting me know, I still have more super chats to get through though. Hogan with the $5 super chat. If you ever make a new intro, I vote for emulating the Samurai Jack intro. Back to the DAC, hold up DAC, what DAC? Wait, hold on. Hold on. I don't remember what the Samurai Jack intro was, but I remember loving it. So now give me a second. Hold on. Let me look this up. Also, I just saw one of my favorite YouTubers says he's starting a new channel. You know how YouTubers do that sometime? And there probably will be a day where I do this, where they do the clickbait thing, where they make the thumbnail just them at the desk, and then the title is like, I'm moving on, or it's over, or time for a change, or something that is very clickbaity because you think, are they quitting YouTube, or what's going on? One of my favorite YouTubers just did that, and this isn't shade to him. He has an amazing channel, but Michael McElvey, he does like sports content. It's like the best editing ever. He played like college basketball and stuff. Awesome channel. If you like sports content, not just like sports talk radio, but like analyzing the draft, and like he does like all these mathematical models on like what draft picks are the best. He makes a lot of cool content. Michael McElvey. But he just did one like that where it's a thumbnail like, I'm starting a new channel, and it's him at the desk looking disappointed. And he gets a lot of views, so I don't know what that's about, but I gotta watch that later. But that heavily distracted me. But now we're on to the Samurai Jack intro. All right, hold on. You guys can't hear this, and if you can, then I'm in trouble. Oh, I remember this now. Oh man, I wish I could play it because of the back to the DAC thing. Like I wish I could play the music. Yeah, no, that would be kind of cool. I love Samurai Jack growing up, but I think the new intro, we haven't started working on it, so I could change it. But I think I've decided that I'm gonna do it's gonna be really simple. I'm just gonna do like an animated Adam tree with some cool Easter eggs, because it's gonna be for the main, like the way, like I could use it in other places, but the main place I want to use it for is the intro screen, for like a stream whenever it says like starting soon. But I want it to be something Elbath focused, so I'm getting like an animated Adam tree with like the waterfalls coming down and other stuff. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think I'm going to settle on that. But I've also been thinking about getting an intro for Redacted, like a 2-second, 3-second thing. Like, not, I know people don't like the long intro things, but like just a quick, I don't know what it would be, but something where Redacted pops on screen and some One Piece stuff, and then it gets into what I'm saying. But that might be kind of cool to do if I use it for that one. So Hogan, I appreciate you for that. That's hilarious. Aku, yes. I see everyone saying it. Kuso Land. Kuso, welcome, my friend. I love it whenever you show up. What were you talking about? Let's see. What was the last thing you said? I scrolled past it. Oh, well, was Domi Reversi tied to Davy Backfight originally? You lose a member and they get some reversied. Maybe, because Oda's definitely, talking a lot about this idea of like getting people to your side, like whether by force or the way Luffy does it, which is just, aura, I guess. And that is a big focus that Oda has done. So, whether Domi Reversi is tied to the Davy back, like maybe the idea of the Davy back is like, if you disobey, and I'm speaking kind of loosely here because I don't think this would work in the way I'm about to say it, but generally, like, they say that if you disobey after losing the Davy back fight, you'll get the curse of Davy Jones. Well, what if the curse of Davy Jones was like you actually get Domi Reversi? Like, once you disobey, you literally get turned into this demon thing that just listens to whoever at every whim. And that's why people are like scared to disobey from the Davy back fight, is there's like actually a demonic element to it of Davy Jones, which if it was a Domi Reversi thing, I don't think that would be Davy Jones's fault. That would probably be Emu's, but people might just attribute it to Davy Jones. But either way, I think that's a cool connection for sure. But appreciate you showing up, Kusalane. God, my tabs keep freezing and it's messing me up. Vasil Vlad Ivanovich, I got two more here. Last theory, I believe that the world government kept asking Harold for more and more until they asked for Elbaf's devil fruit, at which point the soldiers killed him. That, I think, makes a lot of sense. Because maybe he did start giving the government some inroads as far as like maybe he did do the Celestial Tribute for a while. Maybe he was giving them Atomwood for certain things. Maybe the Giants were helping the government on certain missions or whatever. But then maybe once they said, well, we need that devil fruit now, then maybe he even said yes. And then maybe that's why everyone just killed him. I like that a lot. I actually... Because going back to the Domi Reversi thing, like I said, we don't see everyone with wings in that one panel we saw with Harold getting stabbed and all that stuff, which makes me think that there isn't a Domi Reversi element there. I mean, there could be. Oda's just hiding it or whatever. But like, if they actually just got mad at him and were like, no, like, you can't give up this fruit. No, like, even if you're the king, we're not doing that. I think that could matter. But I could almost see the opposite too, though, where Harold refuses but then all those guards were maybe told by like those super sketchy elder guys, which I don't think they are good people whatsoever. By the way, those guards who or not guards, but the elders, like we haven't even seen their face, but the silhouetted guys who like set up the Estrid thing, I don't think they're good at all. Like they seem like they're the type to be in cahoots with the government or something like that. And so I could see the opposite, where Harold was working with the government, but then he's like, no, the devil fruit's the one thing I can't give you. That will lead to the destruction of the world or what have you. But then maybe those elder guys, maybe they were the ones who were trying to make that happen. And then once he said no, then maybe that's why everyone attacked him, because maybe those elder guys were able to convince them to do it. I don't know. I love the idea either way, man. I think you might be onto something. Troy Hughes super chatted $5. Enjoying the One Piece chat. This is Troy Hughes, voice of Mad Treasure and Man Boshi. Keep it up. Troy, wait, really? Hold on, Troy, wait. Troy, not that I doubt you, but I remember who is Mad Treasure? I know Man Boshi. Dude, that is awesome. Thank you for being here, Troy. Bro, I am honored that you joined the chat. Welcome. Dude, what do you think about the new chapter? I am very curious to get your thoughts. Dude, I am honored that you're here. This is the first time I've had someone who voiced anything. Yeah, look, and I'm again, not that I doubted you, but I didn't know who Mad Treasure even was. But from the Heart of Gold movie, right? Or special. And it even says on the wiki page, English voice, Troy Hughes. Troy, bro, I am honored, man. And what's really cool for me too is like you're actually into One Piece. Like you're into One Piece enough to come visit the stream on a hype chapter like this. And I assume most One Piece voice actors are into One Piece, at least a little bit. But I don't know if all of them are diehards, reading the chapter on release, reading the scanlations on release. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if they were that in-depth, but you seem to be, which is amazing, dude. Troy, again, I'm honored. I am seriously honored. That is so cool. And you know what's funny about Mad Treasure is I've seen him on TCG cards like 100 times. I've seen him more on the TCG cards than I've seen him in actual One Piece anime before. But next time I do a card opening and I see Mad Treasure, I'm shouting you out for sure. And Man Boshi, which I haven't seen Man Boshi on very many cards. I'm gonna be honest with you. Man Boshi is hilarious. Like pretty much all the Fishmen brothers or Royalty brothers, whatever, you know what I mean, Shirahoshi's brothers, they're all pretty interesting. But dude, I'm honored, genuinely. I haven't seen you chat, so you might have bounced in between then, but if you come back or whatever, even if you watch this later, bro, oh no, you're here. Send me that card when you pull it, bro. Troy, I will. I'll send you, what I might do is I'll send you a couple, and then if you want to send one back signed, I would show that off every single stream probably. You don't actually have to. I actively don't like asking for autographs, but I will send you a card for sure. I will do that because I pulled 1 million Mad Treasure cards because I think they're just commons, right? I don't think they're. Oh yeah, this one. Hold on. This one I have seen 100 times. It's from EBO2. That's why. Let's see. Will it pull up? Oh no. Well, no. Yeah, there it is. There you are. That's Troy. That's Troy Hughes' card right there. Dude, that is so freaking cool. Genuinely, I'm honored. I'm gonna brag about this later. I don't know who I'm gonna tell, but I'm gonna brag to somebody. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I've seen this card 100 times because I've opened a few boxes of EBO2. But that's awesome, dude. Seriously, thank you. And what are you thinking about the chapter, Troy? I'm curious. Like I said, I think it's really cool that a voice actor is, this in the One Piece, English voice actor in particular. Because I know in Japan, a lot of the Japanese voice actors like live, eat, and breathe this, right? They're like superstars. They're rock stars for this. But what do you think about the chapter, dude? I'm curious. Do you have any agendas that we should be aware of? Because this is like some of the hypest stuff we've ever had. So Dexter, you said go tell your neighbor who asks about the pirates. I literally will. I will. I've told this story before, but one of my neighbors, nicest lady ever. Whenever I go and see, like I say hi to her, the first thing she asks me every time is how are the pirates doing? And because she knows I cover One Piece, she does not know what One Piece like actually is. She's never watched it, but she knows I cover pirates, so she always asks. And I'm gonna tell her one of the real life pirates showed up to my stream and said hello, and she'll think that's really cool. She will. So that's actually pretty funny. Anyway, there were some other super chat. Mr. Bushido with the €5. Rocks keeping his family secret from the crew and saying it's a weakness sounds like what Dragon says. Yeah, it does. It does. It sounds the exact same. Like, and I think we're seeing how true that is, right? Like, when the government goes and messes with your family, it's like, you know, you're in between a rock and a hard place there. It's kind of earlier, like with even Gabon and Colin, we saw that too. Trying to think, there's some other examples we've definitely seen. I can't think all. There's plenty off the top of my head. There's plenty. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. But there's a lot of instances of that, of a kid, or you know, of where the parent is stuck between a rock and a hard place when their kid gets in trouble with the government or their family does. So yeah, man, I need to get this Dragon and Luffy backdrop, man. Like that's like we're seeing Dragon with all these other kids. You know, he's saving Shanks, might go save Blackbeard, probably save a lot of people from God Valley, honestly. But I gotta see the Luffy thing, man. We gotta figure that out. Troy Hughes, he says, let's say this. There are a lot of surprises coming. Can't divulge or Crunchyroll might kidnap me and drop me off in the desert. Hey, bro. No worries. No worries. Say less. I totally get it. But I'm very much looking forward to all of this stuff for sure, man. And yeah, don't let Crunchyroll come and kidnap you. That I get worried about that with IMU, or sometimes we joke about Oda. Like earlier, my stream got cut out because my power cut off for a second, and you know, the only thing I can attribute that to is IMU, you know, putting the hit in, or maybe Oda thought I was getting too close to the truth. So I know the feeling, Troy. I know the feeling. Yours might be a little more literal than my concerns, but still, I get it. Troy, you better not be talking about another 6-month break. Man, let's hope not. I mean, maybe we might get a month-long manga break. Not soon. I don't think it'll be soon because we're already in September, and around Christmas he gets a multi-week break because of the Golden Week and stuff. So he always gets a long break there. So I don't think he would do the month-long break soon. But right after that, well, we don't know the exact date yet, but I am guessing that the live action will come out early 2026. And I bet you when the live action comes out, he might take a little bit of an extended break because he'll probably have a lot of promotion stuff to do or whatever, right? He might be kind of busy. I think that's why he took one of the breaks that he had, right? That he took a month-long break. And he hasn't done that for a while. He did a month-long break in 2022, which is when I started my channel, actually. Then he did another one for eye surgery, right? And so he hasn't done one for a while, but I think he's due. So maybe we'll get a month manga break eventually. One Piece Sage, you said Rocks has a Blackbeard kind of voice. I bet. I also bet he does. It could even be Blackbeard's voice actor. Who is Blackbeard's voice actor? Because Dragon and Calgara have the same voice actor, and you know, this is a theory. We don't actually know they're related, but I think there's a million reasons to think they are, and they use the same voice actor there. So it might be the same thing here. Well, Chris Rager is now Blackbeard's voice actor in English, and in Japanese it's Akio Otsuka, it looks like. So if it's those people for Rocks, then I mean, we already know they're related, but I think that's who it's going to be if I had to bet. Mr. Bushido, I appreciate you, brother, with the €2. You said join the Discord for, well, ignore the carrot emoji, but you said join the Discord to join the agenda. And you know what? You know what, Bushido? Just because you did that, I'm going I'm gonna show you something that I don't normally show anyone outside of my inner circle, I guess. That sounds weird. That's not the right way to say it. I'm gonna show you an image that I don't normally show the public, but I'll show you anyway. It's a well, I did not save that to the right place. We'll save it in here. I'm gonna show you the mock-up for a future thumbnail. All right. There's a reason why I'm showing you this one, Bushido. You can probably already start piecing together why I'm deciding to show you. But, you know, you've been pushing the carrot agenda for so long. And you know, and you've donated a lot today. I'm going to show you something I got cooking up here. You see the person in the yellow square? You see who that is? We're going to have carrot. We're going to have carrot on a thumbnail, Bushido. The carrot is right. Carrot will be on you'll be able to click Carrot's face on my channel in like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know how long this will take, but yeah, we're going to have Carrot on a thumbnail. Again, I don't normally show people these early, but hey, you know what? You brought up the carrot agenda. I figured I'd show you. We're gonna have Carrot. And yeah, this thumbnail is actually about the next who will be the next Straw Hat Pirate is the point. That's a future video you guys have to look forward to. Yeah, we got some of the top. Those aren't all the people I'm talking about, but that's the video. Because I feel like with Loki, you know, potentially joining, we know Vivi's pulling up soon. I mean, Lilith is on the island. She was a popular one. Bonnie is on the island. There's a lot of candidates for Straw Hat right now. And so we're going to do a video breaking down all the options at some point. But yeah, Carrot's going to be on the thumbnail. We already have Rox's VA, Dexter says. Nice. Was there like a line in chapter 1096? I'm going to look it up. Yeah, when did we hear him talk? Let me scroll down to the, let's see. Oh, well, that's not really going to help. I don't know. I don't know when we heard him, but it's not the same people as Blackbeard, though. They're different people. For English, it's Paul St. Peter. Which, wait, Paul St. Peter... Dude, you better be the voice actor for Saint Shepherd Jupiter, man. Hold on. Who is his voice actor? Nope, that's Michael Johnson, man. You could have had it. Could have had Paul St. Peter be the voice actor of Shepherd Jupiter, but instead he's the voice actor for Rocks. In Japanese, it's Shinsu Fuji. It looks like. Interesting. I didn't know we already had his voice. I do not remember the episode or his name, but he's listed in the credits. Yeah, on the wiki page. If you guys ever want to know who's the voice actor for someone, you can just go to that character's wiki page and it'll have it in a little box. That's how whenever I looked up Mad Treasure earlier, it said that for Troy as well. They're pretty good about that. It's crazy that we already have Roxas. I don't know when. When? Maybe there was like maybe they just had him like yell in one of the scenes. I don't know. All right, I think I'm not ending the stream just yet because I feel like we still got a little bit to talk about, but I think I'm caught up on all the super chats. I'm actually going to go do a quick thing here and go over, because this place also keeps the super chats stored. Because I want to go back through, because after the stream ended, I'm going to go, hold on, let me scroll back down. Okay, so there, I know I was reading there. So I'm just going to go back through all the, dude, guys, there are just so many. Thank you. That's all I got to say is thank you guys. Like, I mean, like, I know there's a lot because it's taken me forever to read them and get through them all, but then to go here should I show you guys this? I don't know if I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to show you guys just in case I show something wrong, because I'm in the creator dashboard thing, and I don't know if there's like some codes or something I shouldn't show publicly. But there's like it takes. I'll count the scrolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It takes 7 full scrolls to go through all the super chats. So seriously, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna go back through and just quickly glance at them and see if I skipped any. So yeah, because right here, I don't remember mentioning this one. Friend Harper, earlier you sent a super sticker that said "Keep it up." Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. It was a $5 super sticker. I'm sorry I missed that one, but I remember reading the one before and after, so that must have just not made it to Streamlabs. So I'm gonna keep looking through these even closer to make sure I don't miss any more. So Friend Harper, thank you for that one, because I read your other one, just not that one. Read that one. Mr. Bushido, read that one. Good Vibes, I read that one. Bean Boy, read that. Knack, Alex, read that. Night Fury, I believe I read that. Oh, that was the Child of Destiny one. That was a good one. Knack, I read that one. Rapo, CD versus DVD, that was funny. I read Kuya's, I read McPulsar's. It's so funny how, like, going back to the D clan, the Davy, like that confusion. It's so funny going back and like there's like back-to-back super chats, like Kuya. There's multiple of them actually, but just these ones right here. The Kuya says there's definitely more to the D clan than just Davy, and then the very next super chat's like, I think you might be onto something with Davy Jones, which I just think it's very exemplary of the One Piece community, like in a very good way. It's like, you know, there's so many different takes on the same thing, right? Like so many of us can read it differently or, you know, understand the arguments differently. I just think it's so funny, like back to back. It's like, nah, that's not what the D means. Oh, maybe that is what the D means. Brandon King, did I read this one? Dragon found his fruit in a chest on God Valley, then put Shanks in it, betting on the future like Shanks. Dragon saved Shanks and by proxy set up Luffy for success. Did I read that one? I don't think I read that one. Are you still in the chat? I don't know if you're still here or not, Brandon King, but I don't think I read that one. Dragon found his, but I think somebody else said something similar, but Dragon found his fruit in a chest on God Valley, then put Shanks in it, which I know somebody else did say that later, after you though. But betting on the future like Shanks, which is that's a cool parallel. And then Dragon saved Shanks and by proxy set up Luffy for success. Again, I don't know if I read it, but you are definitely right. Like, if Dragon saved Shanks and then Shanks was able to go repay the favor, maybe without even knowing that Dragon saved him, just through inherited will, happenstance, serendipity, whatever, you know, like it came back to help Dragon, where it's like, because Dragon might, like going back to the Fuchsia Village thing, Dragon may not have been able to go save Luffy because the family's like his weak spot thing. Like if he goes back there too often, they're gonna start guessing, like, is your family over there? Then they might start looking around for his family, blah blah blah. Like he probably didn't want to have any connection. So for Shanks to kind of be there to help save Luffy that day, because Dragon would have never been able to, I think is actually pretty cool. Now Dragon did go save him at Log Town, but I think that's a little bit easier because Dragon can't go to Luffy's hometown, because then he's making it really obvious where his family might be. But if Luffy heads out on his own and starts making a name for himself, and then Dragon goes to Log Town, well, what's it matter? Like, Luffy's gonna leave Log Town in 20 minutes. You know, it's not gonna matter that much at that point. So either way, good super chat. Can't remember if I even answered it, but and then Rapo, I see the far-fetched one. I do remember reading it, but maybe between the cutoff, like where the power went out or whatever, it didn't make it. But I remember reading it, but a bit far-fetched. But I tend to believe Oda might reveal to us what the D is through a music released at some point in the past by giving us pieces of information, waiting for us to connect them. That would be pretty cool. I don't remember what I said to this earlier, but this I might have been reading this right when the power went out, and so I stopped mid response. Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, I think that'd be kind of cool because obviously we have Bink Sake, which is really important. Which I was really hoping Bink Sake would be here on the island, but I mean, maybe it is, but so far we haven't seen it. We got a lot of other stuff going on. But Bink Sake is obviously a really important song that probably reveals some stuff about the past. So if there was another song, maybe even Bink Sake, like maybe there's some lines in there. I've never done a video breaking down what Bink Sake means or whatever, but maybe I should. But yeah, if there's like another song that kind of reveals it, I think that'd be kind of cool. And you also think back to Top Musica, right? Like, I wonder if... I don't know how to word this, but like, what if you could bring back Davy Jones, or maybe bring back Rocks now through whatever means? We're about to find out how he died, so maybe there's some special stuff going on, but maybe you can bring them back or something through a song similar to the Top Musica thing. Like, you sing the right song at the right place, and you resurrect. I don't know, resurrect's not the right word, but summon, summon them from the underworld or something. I don't know, but I think that'd be kind of cool to get it through music, because I just feel like, Luffy wanted to go get a musician from day one, and also Brook is the musician. He died and came back to life. I just feel, and he's literally been to the underworld, so I just feel like music is already kind of dancing around some of the, most important people, or at least, I mean, Brook is really important, maybe not as important as every other character, but like being to the underworld is something that like two people can claim. I mean, maybe the Gorosei, but like Brook, I mean, maybe the Gorosei, maybe IMU. I don't know who else, but yeah, I like that idea that we get the full D reveal through some music stuff. That'd be cool. I'm ready for more music in general, to be honest. I was actually pumped last chapter when we saw Rayleigh singing Bink Sake off to the side of the ship. I thought that was cool, but all right, other super chats. Let me just double check. Growth Stonks. I think I read this one, but you said Dragon, Shanks, and Sabo might be working together to raid the Holy Land. This is why Shamrock needed to be recalled to help Akainu and Garling fight them. Because I remember you brought up Akainu in another super chat, but that might have not been the same one. See, the thing about Dragon, like, I like Shanks being in the Holy Land. Now, like, Dragon and Sabo, like, I mean, they're probably the most likely group. It's just they were just there. And I feel like I say this every week, but like, if they're there, I feel like it's not really a surprise. But if Shanks is there, it is a surprise. And if they're all working together, I guess that would also be a surprise by default. But that's always kind of my thing, is like, I really hope Oda is going to make that a little bit more special than the same thing we just had. So Shanks being there would be kind of cool. And then Shamrock being there to like Shamrock versus Shanks, Dragon versus Akainu, and I guess Sabo versus Garling. That seems a little weird. Maybe no, it'd be because Dragon needs to box Akainu at some point because they have some connection. But Dragon should fight Garling. Like, if this is like an end game level fight, I would say Dragon and Garling are more opponents, and then Sabo can fight Akainu to get revenge for Ace. But I don't think we're quite far enough to like have those fights end. So I don't know. I'm still holding out hope that the Grand Fleet is in the Holy Land. I know that's like a reach, and who knows if the Grand Fleet are even strong enough to cause enough problems to make the Gods Knights go back. But that's like my hope, is it's at least them, and probably not going to be right, but that's what I want. But Shanks being there is pretty damn cool. I like that idea, man. I really do. Doron, you said, I just really don't want people to come back to life. I mean, I think the way Oda's going to do it is it's going to be like Thriller Bark, where they're not fully themselves, right? Because like the zombies, like when Oars came back, he's not really Oars. Like he's the size of Oars, and he kind of looks like him. He's got a lot of stitches and holes in his body or whatever, but it's like it's not him in mind, and probably even him in body, because he's a lot weaker than he probably was in the past. So if Oda does it that way, where like there's like a top musica situation where you bring somebody back from the underworld, but it's like a weird possessed version of them that's not the same, but like they're still really useful for some reason, either for information or just to have like kind of like Moria. There's like an army of these things just because, even if they don't they're not as strong as the original. I think that works a lot better, but I definitely don't want people resurrected like I don't want Whitebeard, like literal Edward Newgate, to be returned. If his body is brought back as a zombie, or maybe like, I don't think Emu does zombies like Moria, but if it's something close to that, like I could see a world where Gunko actually died at some point, but then Emu, like that's maybe a prerequisite for all this other stuff that Gunko is able to do. Like in order to regenerate, maybe you have to die and then be brought back with some Emu power thing, or maybe the Emu control thing requires it because maybe Gunko is actually like an empty body or something. And I don't know. There's a lot of ways it could work, but yeah, I don't want straight up resurrection either, for sure. The Pell hate has always been hella funny to me, not gonna lie, dude. It is. Like, it's funny because like, I mean, he's not like a very consequential character, so it's like, you know, for him, it's just kind of funny. Because like, for Saul, for example, Oda bringing him back is cool because there's a reason for it. He's going to go have this tearful reunion with Robin, and that's going to matter. Pell, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's one of the guardians of Vivi or of Alabasta, but like, he has done nothing. Like, maybe he'll have a role later on. I don't know, but I'm just like, Pell, like, I don't know. It's just such a random guy. Also, I see there was a new super chat from Bushido, or a couple of super chats from Bushido. I'm going to look at those, and then I will, and then I'll get back to rereading the old ones that I may have missed. I can't, like, some of these I've read and some I haven't. I don't know. But Bushido, 12 minutes ago, my bad for missing this. You said 13 Straw Hat agenda. We all win. Well, I'll save it for the video, but I'm of the mind that we need at least one more that isn't Vivi. That's how I'll summarize it, because I think Vivi's a shoo-in, but I don't think Vivi's going to go fight the Blackbeard Pirates, and the Blackbeard Pirates have one more member than we do. So I think we need one more member other than Vivi. But there might be more. That's not to say that we're capping out there, but I think that's going to be kind of the argument I make in that video is, well, if you don't think we need any new crew members, well, we need at least one to help fight the Blackbeard Pirates. And I don't know what else I'll say, but something like that. So maybe it'll go up to 13. And then you also said Kid was born the same year as a Celestial Dragon Hunt. That's interesting. I don't know if that necessarily means anything, though, because like you look at Shanks and Blackbeard, and they were born like a year and two before God Valley happened, so like it didn't really end up mattering, like that they were born the same year of. Like, I guess what I'm saying is Kid's Island could have been cleansed or could not have been cleansed. I'm not sure him being born the same year really says anything, but that is interesting. That's like something that I've wanted to do. Maybe not a whole video on, but maybe like a stream or something, where we go back through the timeline and look at all the 3-year increments and try to pick out, like, is there any evidence of other cleansings from the timeline? So, like, again, Kid being born the same year, that doesn't really imply anything, but it might be kind of cool to mention. But, like, maybe there was somebody who, like, maybe from a Viver card, we knew that somebody's parents died, I don't know, let's say 26 years ago, which is a multiple of 3 from 38. So like it's 12 years after. So like that's another year for a cleansing. And maybe we're like, oh, maybe they died that day. Like I've always wanted to kind of do a stream piecing together that kind of timeline. I don't know if it will really lead to anywhere, but it is really interesting to think about that, I think. Debus, you said Nami is a child. Yeah, like Nami's a good one. I don't know when she actually was found. How many... let's see, how many years ago? She was found 20 years ago, so That is 18 years after God Valley, so that's a multiple of 3. So yeah, hers could have been a cleansed island for sure. Now the thing there, and this is something that I brought up in a video, which it's kind of interesting in this context, is that the fact that Belmare was there and was saving everybody, or like, well, saving Nami, like fighting for the people, like trying to help the innocent people, it seems to imply that that was a government-affiliated country that had pirates attacking, because you're not going to have the Marines come to help if you're not government-affiliated, if you're not paying the tribute or whatever. But maybe it was a cleansing, and that's why the Marines are there. But like, she was also helping Nami, which, like, they're not supposed to do that. Like we see here with Dragon, they're supposed to capture everybody, so it's a little iffy. But maybe there was a cleansing there, and that's why Belmare was there. Just like how we see Dragon here, and he's like, I don't like this. Maybe Belmare was doing the same thing, and instead took Nami. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to do a stream like that, you know. Kids learning about Davy D. Jones at the bottom of the sea right now. Hey, listen. If he is, then he's got like the longest snorkel on in history, because he's not dead. Whatever, if he's down in Davy Jones' locker, he's still breathing somehow. That man's coming back. I'm telling you. Debus, you said Belmare did have to leave the Navy after saving Nami. Yeah, I'm with you. I like it. I mean, I've had multiple theories actually about that island. I said that that could be like a Vasco shot thing, because if they fight each other for the Blackbeard pirates, that could fit. Or even like, he might have been on a different crew at the time, so this is a bigger pirate thing than we understand. Or it could also be that, like, that, and this was my favorite idea for a while. I'm moving away from it a little bit, but I think it'd be cool if that island was actually Imu's home island, because it's called Oikot, which is Tokyo backwards, and for Oda to name an island that, it makes me think it's a really important island. It's also in the East Blue, and I'm just like, you know, if Luffy and everyone's going to come from the East Blue, maybe Imu would. So maybe that was Imu's home island, and maybe Nami was like Nerona Nami or something. But that's like, I mean, maybe it's possible, but I kind of doubt it. But Bushido, you said Nami's from Oikot, which I say is Wano affiliated. I think that'd be cool because of the Tokyo thing. I don't think we have a whole lot to base that off of right now, other than that, because like we know Wano, like, people left there and founded Shimotsuki Village, and so it's like, did they go and found a bunch of islands and we just don't know yet, which is possible. I personally would kind of not like it, because then it's just like, everyone can be from Wano at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's isolated just to one island where they all went and made like a new base, then it's like, okay, there's like one main base that the Wano people are coming from. But then if Wano people like disseminated throughout the whole world, and it's not that it's impossible, it's just, I guess for me, I don't know if I'd like the idea that it's like, hey, anyone can be from Wano now. Like, it doesn't matter. Forget the fact that it's a closed off country. Anyone can be from there, because they went all around the seas. Like, for me, I just feel like it kind of goes against what we were taught about Wano, so I kind of am against it. But it's certainly possible that like some guys just left Shimotsuki, found a new island, or maybe one of them even just married a girl who's from a new island. He moved over there. There's a lot of things, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Oda's gonna do something special with the Oikot thing, personally. I think. All right, let me get back to the other super chats that I may or may not have missed, because I don't know if there's any more in here. I read that. Okay, now I'm not in the same place as before. Kuya, I read that one. Brandon King, Grostonks, read those. Juvial, what if Dragon gets his devil fruit here if he has one? I believe I read that one. I know I answered a couple people who said that, but I think I answered that one. Rapo, I did not read this one, I believe. This one I don't think I ever saw. Yeah, there's like a handful here that I don't think I ever read. So, Rapo, this one I think is new. Whatever happens in God Valley or Go D Valley will definitely depict what Mingo famously said. Pirates are evil, Marines are righteous. These terms have always changed throughout the history. Yeah, I completely agree. Like that. If there's one thing for certain, that it's going to happen. I think, like, I don't know if we're going to get a speech necessarily, but like you said, it's going to depict that. Like, because like for Garp, like he's going to defend the bad guys and beat kind of another bad guy. Like Rocks is kind of in the middle. Like he's against the government, but I don't know. He's not necessarily good per se. And so it will very much be that. Like you're fighting between kind of multiple bad groups, but one of the whoever wins will say they're the good one, right? All right, I have made the decision. I'm going to pull up these super chats. Is this? Well, now you're seeing that Streamlabs thing. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on, that's the wrong thing. I am going to figure this out. I thought I was doing a regular window capture. Oh, okay. Now I see what I'm doing. I clicked the wrong thing. This. Aha. Okay. I'm not used to doing this on the fly, so we're figuring it out. All right, cool. There it is. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier, where like this is where I can see all the past super chats, and like I don't have a lot of these on my end, so we'll tuck it over here. And I'm gonna make sure I read all these, and if I forget some, if you're someone who sent me a super chat and I didn't read it, you have permission to come yell at me. Like yell politely, like just say, hey, you forgot, and then I'll make sure to do it the next stream. But I'm trying to get through it right now. My bad. Mr. Bushido, I don't think I read this one. If Blackbeard's mom dies, how does he know so much about rocks? I mean, we don't really know how much Blackbeard knows about rocks yet, right? So I think that's maybe an important part. It also, like, if Blackbeard gets taken away from here by like Dragon, then Dragon might tell him a little bit. I don't know. I think we got to figure out exactly what Blackbeard knows first. Like I think he does know that's his dad, but I don't know if he is necessarily, like, you know, he knows this many details. Like, just because he has a similar plan, I don't know if that necessarily means that he, you know, knows enough to know, like I think the dark fruit is a good point, that he probably got that idea from Rocks somehow, or maybe somebody who knew Rocks told him. But I don't know if he knows that much. Like that might be why he has Garp in Pudding. It might be strictly so he can access the memory and then learn more about Rocks, because he doesn't know. Dean's, yeah, he's 2. Okay, Alex answered you. Yeah, sorry. Oh gosh, I got too many. I got like so many freaking windows open, you have no idea. This whole day has been hectic, because we had the craziest chapter of all time. The power had to go out, and now there's super chats missing from my docket. But anyway, we're gonna get through the rest of these. So I got Lucky Beetle, Bez. Bez, I did see yours, and I really wanted to answer because that was super nice of you. And I was about to say it when I saw it, but then I was going to go out of order, and I was like, well, that's going to be bad. But now I really wish I'd said it, because then the stream ended. So either way, we're going to do Lucky Beetles, then Bez's, and then Grace, and then Lucky Beetle. And then I think I'm good after that. I think these 4 somehow got erased. But all right, so Lucky Beetle. You said Blackbeard pirates fight the Red Hair crew, or Revolutionary Army. Lafitte is watching them, and Shanks is watching, and Shanks is watching Teach. Will you do potential matchups? So you're saying Blackbeard crew fights the Red Hair crew or Revolutionary Army? I mean, if we get a panel or like something that tells us that fight is actually happening, like Blackbeard Pirates versus Red Hair Pirates, I will do a whole video on those matchups for sure. I'll tell you right now, those videos will not be as good as the Blackbeard and Straw Hat ones because we just don't know enough about the Red Hair crew for me to like I'll probably go through the matchups just based on vibes or whatever. But you know, the thing with the Straw Hat fights is that there's like such a deeper thematic thing going on for a lot of them, and the ones that aren't obvious I think will be obvious, which is why I do those videos. So I will do one though. So I will cover those matchups, but again, it won't be as good as the Straw Hat ones. I'm even struggling right now. Like, I feel like Ben Beckman and Shiryu, just because they're the top, like the number 2 or whatever. Like, they're not the because Burgess is the first captain, but not the number 2 if you're going off that one color page. So I don't know, but the Revolutionary Army could be sweet too, because then you're gonna bring in, you know, all the commanders, and like I don't know if Sabo would take one. Like, Sabo fighting Blackbeard would be really cool because of the ace thing, so I like that too. So now you really got me thinking about it, because like some of these are pretty damn cool. I do like Sabo getting a hit in on Blackbeard, even if it's just like a confrontation, like you're not gonna take me like you took my brother, and he does get out of there or something. Then we also get in that territory of where like Sabo is like doing better than Ace did, and so it's gonna be like, is that bad? Like, is that a you know, is it making Ace look bad for Sabo to come in and do things that Ace wasn't able to? I don't know, but either way, that's interesting, Lucky Beetle. I will definitely do a video if those matchups get, you know, if that clearly is happening. Then we got Bez. You said first time catching you on live. Wait, let me figure out what these are. You know, I always got to do this. What are THB? Thai Bot. I think I've had these before, but I did not remember. And I remember that now. THB, Thai Bot. I'm probably not saying it right, but thank you very much, Bez. I appreciate you. That's very nice of you. You said, first time catching you on live. Just want to say thank you, Dak. You make people happy. Dude, so do you. So do you. Like that. Like I said, I saw that earlier. It caught my eye, and I wanted to give you a shout out right away. But then Emu, you know, Emu came in and had to end the stream. So glad we could at least find it here. Thank you, Bez. I apologize that it took this long to get to it. But yeah, no, that's I hope some people are happy watching this, or any of the content. I mean, I remember when I first started, I can't remember the exact context of the conversation, but one of my friends was telling me, I can't remember what the context was. The context would make the story way better, but I can't remember. But he basically told me, because I was having some doubts about making content in some regard. I can't remember. Maybe it was not me not wanting to make it on other platforms, or me not wanting to do shorts or something like that. Me not wanting to do something. And that's what somebody told me. It was like, well, Dak, you got to remember, like, people enjoy the stuff you make. And the more places you put it and the more forms you make it, the more people that are going to see it and be happy. And it's like, and even if it doesn't make them happy, it's not going to make them unhappy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like most of the time you watch content, there is rage-inducing content, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is, it's either whatever, or it's like really good and it makes you happy. And that was like kind of eye-opening for me to be like, you know, I never really thought about it. Like, you know, even if it doesn't get a lot of views, there's probably a good chunk of people who are going to be happy to see it and stuff. So either way, I love hearing that. It does help my confidence. So I appreciate you, Bez. You're the real one. Lucky Beetle, I see you in the chat. I'm gonna read your other one. I'm so sorry that I did not read these till now. They got, I don't know what happened. Blame Emu. Emu treated your super chats like Emu treats the poneglyphs. Like they had to be erased, right? They did. It's like the Void Century information. Emu was making sure I did not see these for one reason or another. So Juvial Grace, I know you have one super chat in between, but because I see Lucky Beetle in the chat, I'm gonna read Lucky Beetle's other one because, bro, I'm so sorry it took this long. I thought Hordy Jones or Hody Jones was One Piece Davy Jones for one thing. For one thing they have in common is is a Kraken, a giant squid. I wish there was a Blackbeard and Davy alliance. That's actually that's a good call, because I was talking about this the other day. Remember in Fishman Island when Sarume the Kraken? Remember Sarume is like debating what to do, like it's like being forced to go against Luffy, and Luffy and somebody's like, well, you know, if you don't listen, we're gonna go hurt your brother did they say in the North Pole? They said in somewhere else, some other sea, we're going to hurt your brother. We still haven't figured out who that brother is. We got to figure that out. I don't know how big of a plot point that'll be, but that's one of those things that just has been in my mind rent-free since I heard it. Like, oh, there's another big Kraken that is somewhat important. Maybe not like super important, but I want to see him again. And so it made me wonder, like, was the other Kraken maybe friends with somebody important? Like was that Kraken maybe friends with Rocks, and maybe that's a cool Davy Jones situation where Rocks was actually friends with a squid? You know what I mean? So that, you know, I'm sure you've all seen, most of you at least have seen Pirates of the Caribbean, and you know, so like Davy Jones and squids kind of go hand in hand in a lot of places. So I think that'd be really cool if that Kraken came back again. It doesn't even have to be that one. It could be whatever Kraken, but I just thought, like, the fact there is like a missing Kraken, like one that Oda has alluded to that we haven't seen, like that one makes it stand out. So I hope it's that one. So I'm actually really glad you brought that up. And yeah, and Davy Jones in general, like, for me, and I think for a lot of people, he was one of the more disappointing villains. Not that, like, the Fishman stuff was compelling, but it was more of just, you know, we're coming out of the time skip. He's not really that strong. He ate all these steroids to try to become OP, and he still wasn't that OP. He still got beat by Luffy pretty quick. It's like he wasn't that special. He didn't feel special, but now that we have this Davy Jones thing, he was obviously a fishman. Davy Jones was at the bottom of the sea. Like, there's a lot of things you could think of that maybe mean he has more importance in the story. So I'm glad you guys brought up Davy Jones today, because like I said, that Davy Jones idea, it's probably not going anywhere, but that's just like something in the back of my head where I've been like, yeah, like the Fishman, bottom of the ocean, Jones is the last name, D Jones, like it feels weird. So hopefully he does matter, just because it would recontextualize Fishman Island a little bit. And Juvial Grace, you said Davy D. Zebek snapped after he found out what they did to his family or clan. Yeah, I wonder. Well, like, I guess I don't know if you just mean here, like at this island, because he heard that his family was in trouble, and he was like, we're going over there, I don't care. But I also was wondering if you meant in the past, like, does Zebek know what happened to the real Davy Jones? So this is a theory that I've been talking about for a while. I've mentioned it in several videos. I'm not going to do the video until this flashback's over, because I think we're going to get a confirmation of it. And I don't know, for me, I'm not really, I don't want to make a theory that could be wrong right away. You know what I mean? Even if it's right away. I don't even know if I really want to, but I like doing ones that are a little bit more a ways away. But I was going to do a video about how Rocks figured out the true history, because I do think he knows, because this is something that you figure out at Laugh Tale, or at least we know from Roger you do, but you can also figure out this history by getting the Rio poneglyph. And I think that's something that Rocks did figure out, and the video for all those details is something that I'll wait till this is over. If maybe Oda will cover it, I don't know. But I do think he learned all the true history, or at least a version of it. Does he know every single thing that Laugh Tale told Roger? I doubt it, but he probably knows a lot of it. And so I do think he knows a little bit about the truth of Davy Jones in the past, and maybe his family has passed down some of it, but I think he also learned some context from the poneglyphs and stuff. So I wonder if he, what if the reason he went after IMU the first time was because he heard, like, what happened to Davy Jones, and he's like, well, I gotta go fix that right now. Let me go up there and go beat this guy's ass. Because remember, that's also where they said that he was a Davy Jonesian pirate. So that was already established by the time he went and met IMU. So I wonder if he heard about Davy Jones, went for IMU's head right away, because that was Davy's biggest enemy or whatever, and then, you know, we ended up here through somehow. Oh, wait, now you guys can see others. I didn't want you guys to see that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So let me just make sure I did all these other ones. So Bushido, I think I mentioned this, but either way, thank you for the €2 super chat. Plug in the Discord again. Guys, definitely join the Discord if you want. I definitely need to go eat after this, because, like, bro, we're almost at 4 hours. I don't think I've ever done a reaction that lasted this long. And part of it is obviously that we got disconnected, but even that wasn't that long. And I'm starving because I have not eaten today. And I've also, by the way, guys, if anybody cares, oh, see now here I am again, clicking the wrong tab. I have been eating a lot better lately, and I'm trying to get on a little bit of a fitness kick here. So you guys remember how I hurt my back a couple weeks ago? Or some of you might remember that. I hurt my back, and I could barely even sit in a chair. I couldn't walk. I could barely sit down. I could barely do anything. And my back is well, not always, but for 10 years I've had back problems. But I feel like I'm jinxing myself saying this. And I probably am, and I shouldn't say it, but I'm already halfway there, so I gotta say it now. But I think my last back injury actually fixed my original back injury, because I was down for the count for a few days, but I've never had it hurt that bad. I've never hurt my back enough to where I couldn't walk, but I've hurt it a lot of times where it hurt to walk, or it was tough to walk, or I couldn't do normal things, but I've never literally not been able to walk. But now, like a few days later, my back started feeling way better. And I'm not kidding. The pain I used to have pre-injury is gone. Like there was always a little something in my low back that would I don't know how to describe it. It would click. Like if I'm like bending up or down, it would feel like a lot of pressure is building at one point. Or if I sit down for too long in one position, my back, it would be screaming to not move too quick. But it's like it all fixed itself. And I don't know why. And so, long story short, now my back is better. And I'm way better. I'm able to do movements I haven't been able to do in 10 years. So now I've gotten on a big health kick. Because now I'm okay, if by the grace of Nika, if I'm gonna have my back fixed, let's go take advantage of it. So I've been doing a lot more work now. I've been going outside more. I'm trying to get healthier because now that I can actually move, I'm excited about it. So again, I'm probably jinxing myself, but I'm pretty sure I hurt my back so bad it fixed the old injury. Again, there's probably some doctors in the chat who are there's no way that happened, and you're probably right. But my God, I have not had peace from back pain for 10 years, and I've had it for the last week, and it's crazy. So basically, yeah, I'm on a health kick, but I am starving. So we do have to hurry up and get out of here. Yeah, my stomach is gurgling, but we got a few more minutes here. I want to make sure I get through all the super chats. That was a really long diatribe, but Doron, you said maybe you're just lucky. Dude, that I guess I guess. I don't know what else to say, because literally for the last 10 years, I've felt a little something in the lower right side of my back. Whenever I'm if I go run, the entire time I run, every time I plant my right leg, even my left leg, but mainly my right leg, I could feel a little something in my back. Something wasn't right, and it felt a little uncomfortable. It would get stiff. But that disappeared after the last injury. No idea. So, also, that's given me a lot more energy to work on videos, by the way, because that is a problem. Because sometimes I sit here for a few hours, and my back hurts. And I'll even sit here for maybe from 10 to 1 or something, 10 a.m. to 1. Maybe I'll do 3 hours of work. And then I almost can't do work the rest of the day because my back is scared to get back into a hunched over position working on the computer. But now that's all gone. I don't know what happened, but now I got all sorts of energy now. The dogs have been outside doing more than they've ever done. Well, not ever done, but they've done in a while because now I can go walk. They can pull me. My back doesn't hurt. It's crazy, guys. It's genuinely crazy. If you guys have back problems, I am not advising you to go injure your back on purpose in the hopes that this happened. But I'm pretty sure I healed myself, and I don't know. I don't know how. Sitting a lot weakens the glutes, if 6 was 9 says. Yeah, that's it. So that's the biggest thing. And so that's what my PT people told me is work on your glutes, work on your core, work on your hips, all that kind of stuff. All your legs and your core are what take care of your back. And it was true that the more I work those out, the less problems I would have, but there was still that little tinge of pain, or there was still that little bit of uneasiness where if I was going to bend down in a certain way, my back would be no, don't Dak, don't do it. Now I'm unlimited. Now I can bend down in weird ways. I can contort myself, and I'm actively trying to avoid it because I don't want to re-injure myself. But y'all, it's been a crazy ride. Like genuinely the last like the reason I hurt my back, by the way, was because I was training for the Columbus Marathon, and I was like a fitness nut at the time. I mean, you go ask my friends in college, they will tell you I was insane. I was training for the marathon, which I did complete even with the back injury. I did run. Actually, do I have the... No, I don't have the medal back there. I probably should put the medal back there. But I ran the marathon. But while I was training for it, which I was running every day, like 5 to 7 miles a day or more, and then I was also playing basketball in the afternoons, and I was working out, like lifting weights. And one day I did all of those. And when I was playing basketball, I was just sliding my feet, and I pulled something in my back. And then the rest was history. I had back problems for 10 years, and I was like super duper fit. I worked out legs all the time. I worked out legs twice a week. But my back I think my back gave out because I was working so hard. It was like, dude, even though you're doing it the right way, like, we are not built to run this many miles. Like, you got to slow down. So anyway, I had back problems for 10 years. Now they suddenly got fixed. So let's just hope that stays true. Let's knock on some wood. This probably isn't real wood, but it'll count. Elia, you said do your deadlifts to prevent future back injuries. Now that my back is better, I might. Because my back hurt so bad that I was scared to do deadlifts. I was scared to do anything that involved bending over and grabbing weight was a no-go for me for a long time. Now, I feel like I can do anything. Genuinely. It's like I have a new... I don't want to say I have a new lease on life, because it's not like I was like... I couldn't do anything. But now I feel like I can do anything, and I didn't feel that way before, so... pain can manifest in the SL joint, SL joint, QL, or even a slip disc can occur. I train and teach martial arts and had to learn the hard way because I drive Uber too. Dude, I drove for Lyft for a really long time. So, hey, we got that in common. But yeah, I know there's a lot of joints. Like, so whenever I went to PT, the way they described it, they did have like a clinical name. I don't remember the terms, but they basically said that the muscle that attaches to my vertebra like slipped off or hurt or something like that. Like something with the muscle that pulls on my vertebra to make my low back twist in different ways. They said that got messed up, and because that's messed up, that's why bending over hurts and other things. And so I don't know if I just popped that back into place or something. I have no freaking clue. But it's funny looking back on it, because like I said, I couldn't even walk for a couple days. Like, guys, SI joint, but literally, guys, when I first hurt my back, and when I said I couldn't walk, I'm not joking. I army crawled around the house, because after I hurt my back, I just laid down. But then at bedtime, like, my dogs had to go out. I had to feed my dogs. I had to go get some things done. I wanted to brush my teeth, which never happened because I couldn't reach high enough on the countertop. But I literally army crawled to the back door to let them out, because I was like, bro, I can't be completely non-functional. I can't let them just, shit in the house because I can't move. But 3 days later, the pain's completely gone. So I think the reason why I couldn't walk and why the pain was so bad was because my body was like, dude, wait, hold on. Like, we're fixed. Let me just fix this. You know what I mean? Like, don't go out and pop it back into place. Like, you hurt yourself so bad, you fixed yourself. Just stay put. So, I don't know. Either way, where did I start? Why did I get on this time? Why did I talk about my back for 10 minutes? Because I said I was hungry. Yeah, so I'm eating better. So I don't want to say you're going to see like a new DAC in a few months. I don't want to say anything like that bold. I don't want to build that level of accountability with myself, but I've already been way more active, and you probably will notice some changes here in the next few months if I had to guess. I've been wanting to, but like every time I would go run for a couple weeks or I would start working out, my back would hurt, and like not hurt to like where I'm unable to do things, but hurt to where I'm like, dude, if I work out again, I might hurt it, or it might hurt so bad that I can't do videos, and I have to make videos or else I won't be able to pay bills. But now I have energy to do all those things, and it's really crazy. So yeah, you're going to see, I don't know. I wanted to make like a loud G joke, but I didn't really think of how to make one, but that's how I feel. I feel like I was old man loud G, and then I did the key gong. I did the semi key con, and now I'm back. So I don't know. The one thing I've had on my mind the last week, ever since I realized my back was way better, Bro, I got my eyes on the basketball court. That's all I'm thinking about. Cause like I haven't played like serious pickup games in a long time because of my back. Cause the last time I tried, I hurt my back, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm playing, 33 or 21 or whatever, or knockout. But now, I'm trying to get back into pickup, man. Y'all might see some clips. Y'all, if it really happens and I start hitting the court and my back is all better again, I'm gonna post some clips. I'm serious. I'm a 3-point shooter, and like I was Steph before Steph, guys, back in the day. I got witnesses. I'm not even kidding. I am definitely kidding that I was Steph before Steph. I was not that good, but I was really damn good at shooting. So I'm like, if I can post some clips, I'll post some clips for sure. Try mountain biking, Cretan Concern says. So that's another thing I was thinking about. I'm glad you said that. Not mountain biking, but biking in general. I was really, really, really wanting to get back into, because that was another thing where I'm leaned over, but also using my legs, and that's like back danger territory. Now I'm like, well, maybe I can do that. So I might try that. I've like, again, I don't want to say I have a new lease on life, because that's like, I save that for bigger things, but it does feel kind of like that. D, you said if your back is back, which I'm glad you made that joke, because I made that joke on Sai's channel. I don't know if you guys saw the collab I did with Sai, but I made that joke there too. So I'm glad somebody else said it, because I do think that's kind of funny. But then you can do the Boa Hancock pose. That'll be the real truth. If I'm able to do that, then we're talking. Also, Eric J.O. earlier I saw you said, when's the 100-mile marathon coming, bro? It's not coming. I'll be completely honest. God could come down right now and tell me, Dak, your back is all better. You will never injure it again. You can run as many miles as you want, and your back will never hurt again. I will not run 100 miles. I'll tell you that much, man. This body, even if the back is able to do it, the legs can't, man. Doron, you said, are you tall? I'm 6'1", so I'm tall in the sense of the rest of the world. I'm not tall in the sense of basketball, but tall enough I can play. I was never the best player. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm the type of player, and I'm like really selling myself, like I'm not this good, but just if I were to explain my game, I'm not the guy that you're gonna get to like lead your team, but you can get me as the missing piece to win a championship. You can't count on me to dribble the ball and create all the offense. You can't count on me to lock down the other team's best player, but I will fit with almost anyone, because I'm the type of guy who will change my game a little bit to match what the team needs. So, if you need a little more rebounding and interior defense, I'm good enough to do that. If you need shooting, I'm good enough to do that. If you need some post play, if you need some offensive rebounds, I can do all those. Like, I know where to pick and choose where I need to be. So I'm that kind of player. Like, I can do a little bit of everything, but I specialize in shooting, which is always useful. So, bro is Kevin Love. That's definitely my comp, I would say. I'm at outlet passes. I will say I'm a little bit, very, very small amount, but a little bit more of a ball handler than Kevin Love ever was. Now we're really getting into the basketball weeds here, but I could handle the ball, but I'm not the kind of guy who's like going to initiate the offense. I'm more like, oh, I have a small guy on me. Let me take him to the hoop, because there's no way he's going to stop me. Like, I can win a one-on-one, but you're not, like, you don't want me creating the offense, and I'm not going to get 10 assists. I'll tell you that I might get a couple awesome assists, but I'm not getting any more. Like, that's kind of what it is. Bushido, you said bro is beating par for longest stream. At this point, screw it. We are. I am. We are. Are we doing it, or am I doing it? We are. I'll say we. Because par usually goes like 4 hours. We're at 4 hours. So, Cretan, you said if you do decide to cycle, don't be a road biker. Yeah, well, it's tough because I won't be a road biker in the sense of, like, I won't make my bike the main thing I travel with, you know what I mean? Because it's just dangerous. But there are some really cool paths in my part of town that are like, well, biking or walking paths. And I probably will have to ride it on the road to get there because there's not a lot of parking near where the thing is. But either way, I mean, I get why people have to do the road biking because like we had a big thing where I live called like Share the Road, where we like, you know, really harp to tell riders like, hey, if a biker's on the road, they are legally allowed to be there. Do not touch them. Like, don't honk at them. Don't yell, that they're doing the right thing. And so we do allow bikers on the road, and we're pretty good about it. And we do have like some bike lanes that are separate with like a little, I don't even know what you call them, but some divider thing in the middle. So I get why people do it, but it is really dangerous. I don't like retrofitting roads for cars for bikes. I feel like that's, again, I get why it happens, but I feel like that's, you know, I don't know. It's a little risky. Let's just, they should have planned the city to be around biking. But all right, hold on. Now I am so far away from the super chats. Let me just make sure I got all these before, in case Emu comes again. Lucky Beetle, I got yours. Juviol, I said that. Bushido, I said thank you for that. Friend Harper, saw that one. K Raven answered that one for sure. Rapo definitely did. Just Dennis answered that one. Bean Boy definitely did. All right. I think now let me check the most recent ones. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry I missed yours. My bad. I was so busy in the old ones, I missed yours. My fault. Oh, now there I go again. How many years was yep, there you go. Hey, the Google AI answers are pretty good at answering One Piece questions, by the way. Not all the time, though. Sometimes, like there I put, how long ago was Nami founded Oikot? 20 years, and that one was right. Sometimes I'll say, like, like I did this last night. What episode does Sanji get cast into the jail? Or I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but what episode does Sanji get cast off by his dad Judge and we see him with the mask on? Like, remember where he gets put in the jail and like there's that sad scene? I just wanted a quick clip of that. They said like episode like 712 or something it's not even close. Like nothing, I can't remember. It wasn't even close. So they're not perfect, but they're decent. But Chris, my bad. You said KKL is real. Whitebeard, probably. Wait, KKL is in... Wait, we go over this every week, and I get it confused. Every week this happens. Kobe kills Luffy? No, wait, no. Whitebeard, so we're not there. What's the other K? I don't know if you said this when we were talking about something, and now I'm way off base. KKL. It's not Kobe, right? Somebody help me out here. Who is it? Chris, are you here? I don't even know if Chris is here. Yeah, but why is it Whitebeard probably? I guess that's where I'm confused, is why is Whitebeard saying KKL probably? You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's where I'm confused. Or like, was there something I said earlier that would have made more sense? And then I had to talk about my back and my basketball skills for like 15 minutes. Hit the Peloton, Beck says. I should. Downhill is too much fun. Cretan, yes. Vaxie said he saw Kobe at Marineford. I guess I was thinking God Valley. I guess that would make sense, is like KKL there. I was thinking more God Valley. Like, who is the K that has anything to do that that Whitebeard would have met him at God Valley, and then, you know, this is going to end up mattering. That's what I was confused by. But I guess that makes sense. I guess it does make sense. But I feel like, and Chris, is it you every week that says KKL and then I get it confused? Because I always think it's Kobe, and then I reason to myself that it's not Kobe. Then I feel like we come back to saying it is Kobe. But either way, thank you. If I'm misunderstanding that, please yell at me, please. D, you said Kaido kills L-Hawk, and then One Piece Sage said, I won't stand for Mihawk slander. Mihawk is the GOAT. Hey, look, Sage, are you in the server, the Discord server? Because I don't know if you want to be after I see you saying things like that. Because we got stickers like this. I don't know if you'd appreciate that one, because we also got this. We have two. Okay, it's not just one. There's two Mihawk painting stickers in the server. So Just a fair warning. I mean, maybe you are there and I just don't know the name. Maybe you're by a different name, which has happened plenty of times. And I'm sorry if I ever do that. If I ever don't know the multiple names, I genuinely do try to. But sometimes I get confused on who's who in what place. But yeah, we got plenty of Mihawk stickers. Oh, you are in the server. Are you One Piece Sage in the server? Because if so, I haven't seen you chat that much, which is totally fine. But I just didn't know if you knew we had those or not. So if you want to leave now, I do understand. I do understand. But I mean, but to be fair, to be completely fair, Mihawk will have a massive role eventually. Like Mihawk will. I don't know what it is. I don't really have a lot of Mihawk theories, but I do think he will matter for like even after all the jokes. I mean, he's gonna have a massive role. Who's had more panels in One Piece, Shanks or Mihawk? Definitely Shanks. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I guess the fighting with Mihawk in Marineford gave him a lot of panels if we're counting like if you count that as like every time he's seen in the panel, then maybe Mihawk has a slight edge. But like that was all like one scene, so I feel like if you maybe average that down a little bit, then it's Shanks. Because Shanks has appeared a bunch of different times. But Mihawk might have more if we're counting every single Marineford panel. It's probably close in that sense. One Piece Sage, you said you joined very recently, though. Well, welcome, Sage. I appreciate you. Hopefully I see you after this. I say I have 5 notifications already in the Discord. So not even just like in general, but literally from that Discord. So. Excited to see what people are saying. Biori, can I leave? Gigi, you're never allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave the Discord, the stream, work. You're gonna have to deliver, unless you're gonna deliver some of those goods over to me. If you're gonna do that, then you can leave work, but you still have to be doing the work. You know what I mean? Well, all right, guys. I think we've about reached the end. Now that I am wasting this much time going over random stuff, I have so many tabs, I don't know where to look. I think... Okay, I'm going to close that one because I read all those. Now I can close this. Now I can look at my other tabs. All right, so let's talk about what's next. Because I do need to go now, for real. I am, like, so starving. Oh, wait, also, sorry, one other thing. If 6 was 9, you said, yo, we hoop here in C-Bus. Like, literally everyone hoops. Wait, if 6 was 9, do you... I'm really confused. Do you know where I live? Did you mention C-Bus because you know I live here? And then, do you also live here? Did I know that? Did I know that you lived here? Or do you not? Or do you... I'm confused. I'm confused because I don't know if you said that because I live here or if you just randomly said that. But if you're in C-Bus, let's definitely do that. Let me get into a little better shape first because, like, I'm not kidding. Again, I've been moving a lot more, so it'll give me a little, like, couple weeks. I'll probably be okay. But if I were to go play a basketball game right now, probably like 5 times up the court, and I would be cooked. I'd be absolutely cooked. Okay, hold on. Now I see the chat moving on Streamlabs, but not over here. So let me... Okay, now I can see what you're saying. I was saying all that, waiting for you to respond, and I kept seeing Streamlabs move, and I was looking at YouTube like, wait, where is... What? But now it makes sense. You said, yes, dude, I did not... I said OH once, remember? Like a year ago. Oh, dude, I don't remember that. I remember you being in the chat for a long time, but I don't remember you telling me that you were in Ohio, but maybe you did and I'm just blanking. Because I've met 2 people. One I've met in person who lives very close to me, and I met him in person who is a fan of the channel. Then I know there's another guy in Columbus, and I don't want to say names because I think his channel name is his real name, but there's somebody else who lives in Columbus that I haven't met, but we talked a lot about Columbus, and I shipped him some cards and stuff because he won in the giveaway, which is how I figured that out. I didn't remember that though. So now there's 3. So yeah, if 6 was 9, if you wanna play, dude, hit me up, genuinely. If you're like, I mean, use your own judgment, but if you guys are like actually really good, then just, beware that I'm probably not going to be as good the first time we play. But I would genuinely love to. I need a group to play with. I only have like one. Well, I have a couple friends that play pickup here, but they have like well-defined groups that they play with. So they only ask me when like they need an extra person, because they made the groups before they even knew like I played basketball and stuff. So I've always been like the fill-in guy, which I mean, I'm happy to be, but hopefully I find a group. If I do start playing regularly, I'm sure I'll find a group. So, oh man, I'm past my prime. Hey, well, me too. So we fit right in. We fit right in. But depending on how high your prime was, that still might be way better than me. Nickel Vento, you said, Dak, can you talk about your extreme level of excitement for Shedeur and the Browns? I have zero excitement for the Cleveland Browns. And I have even, and I mean, no disrespect, maybe disrespect, maybe, I don't know. But I also have no excitement for Shedeur. Again, I don't know football well enough, but it seems like he has more hype than skill. Like, not saying that he's bad, but it seems like, what is he, like the last string starter or whatever? Or the last string on the depth chart, I mean. So, like, and he was like 5th round for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So like, I have no excitement on, like, as long as Deshaun Watson is being paid by the Cleveland Browns, I will actively root for them to not win. I'll be honest with you. I think that is, the Deshaun Watson thing is the most, I don't even want to say the words that I'm actually thinking, because I'd probably get in trouble, but that is one of the worst things that's ever happened. Not just to the Browns, which is saying something, because the Browns have had a lot of sad stuff, but that, I immediately was not Team Browns anymore after that happened. And he's still getting paid by the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know all the stipulations, but the Cleveland Browns definitely get some tax benefits from the city. So I could easily reason it as like the Ohio taxpayers, or at least Cleveland taxpayers, are, kind of funding that contract for Deshaun, which I just think is, I don't know, I just don't like it. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with the Browns having a terrible season. And it makes me sad to say, because I'm from Ohio, but all the success the Browns could have had are going to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's what I got to say. But hey, Bengals, go Bengals. Or Lions. Lions are really my team now. Lions are really my team. But yeah, I mean, as far as Shedeur goes, it just, again, I don't know football that well, so I'm talking out of my ass a little bit, but I feel like these guys come along, and it's not just him, like other people have done this, where they come along and before they even play, they think they're a hot shot, and they need all this extra respect, and they're gonna like run the show, and then they end up not being that good, and then they fizzle out. And I feel like Shedeur is way more likely to be that than something special, because he's not even starting now. Like, he had a pretty bad preseason from what I understand. So I don't know, as long as Deshaun's on the roster, I'm gonna have a hard time rooting for him. But like, I don't have anything against Shedeur, I just don't think he's that special. But again, I am not a football guy anymore, so don't take my opinion with any less than a grain of salt, like, because I don't know anything. But I do know that Deshaun Watson is a questionable human being. Biori with the $2 says, go eat. You are so right, Gigi. You are so right. Maybe I should do that. Let me just answer this last one here from Doron Ross Tuvia. Did you talk about how screwed the Clippers are? I have not. And if I did, we would be here for a really long time and I would never get to eat. But I'll put it this way. They better be screwed. If they aren't screwed, there's some problems, man. Like, and I know it's weird for me to say this as like technically, like a public facing voice or whatever. Like, I feel like this could get clipped or whatever. But I don't really care. I highly doubt the Clippers are the only team who did something like that. I highly doubt it. And I doubt Kawhi's the only person who got that money. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, you guys probably don't care about NBA anyway, or maybe you do. I don't know. There's only 60-something people here, but the Clippers basically, they circumvented the salary cap. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. There's way more detail to it, but basically, the owner got a really good player a deal through like a company that he invested in. So the guy, Kawhi Leonard, was getting money from this other company, even though he wasn't doing anything. And so it's circumventing the salary cap because it's like, hey, if you sign here, I'll give you the max money that I can give you, by the NBA rules. But I'll also give you this secret money to the side because you can work, quote unquote, for this company, but you won't have to do anything and they'll pay you extra. And then, you'll get more money for playing here. Like it's definitely illegal. Or at least against the NBA rules. I don't know if that's illegal is the right word. Maybe it is illegal because it's like fraud or whatever. But I'm telling you right now, guys, there is no way that's the only person. And that's not me saying that it's okay, that we just need to let it go because everyone's doing it. I am not a fan of that mindset in the real world whenever people say like, who cares about this bad thing? A lot of people do it. It's like, no, we got to stop it then. We got a bunch of people doing it. No, stop. So YHW, you said, I'm not mad at the owners for doing this, not going to lie. Seems like a win-win. It's like the thing that I'm the most mad at, or not even mad. I'm not mad. But I think the most questionable part is that it's an unfair advantage because it is against the rules. So a lot of teams and a lot of players are not doing this, right? Okay, we're definitely going to go after this because the dogs keep bumping into me, and that's definitely their sign of like, I'm tired of being in this room. Let's get out of here. But the thing is that some teams are not doing it. And because of that, that means that the other teams who are getting an unfair advantage. I was thinking of this parallel earlier. It's not the best parallel ever, but it's the only one I could think of, and this is a thing that really made me mad. But when I was in grad school, when I was getting my MBA, we had a case study for our group. And this is so convoluted, but like basically what this case study was is we were supposed to go meet and look through these financial statements. And by looking at the financial statements, just the numbers alone, we were supposed to be able to tell which company it was, basically. Like, they gave us 13 sets of financial statements. They gave us 13 companies, and we're like, look at those numbers and tell us which company is who, because maybe like a restaurant would have high levels of like food purchases, like something like that. Like, that's the kind of the logic they wanted us to do. And I remember somebody in my group mentioned, hey, I found all the answers for this because it's like a case study that's been done a bunch of times. Like, here's the answers from whatever website, whatever, like Quizlet, whatever. And I remember telling them like, well, no, like, well, guys, for one thing, that's cheating. let's not do that. But second, well, even if we were to do that, like, it's like an unfair advantage, but not even just that, but it's that, we might get caught because they'll be like, hey, how'd you get all 13 answers? Can you explain this one? Then if we can't explain the answer because we just copied it, then they're going to know we, cheated, whatever. But the reason why that parallels to Kawhi is because what I found out was because of me, we were the only group that didn't cheat. Every single other group ended up cheating except for us. And so every other group got 100% except for us. So where I thought what was happening was we might get caught for cheating because we get every single answer right, it actually ended up being the opposite, where because every single person cheated and we didn't get 100% because we didn't cheat, it looked like we were the dumb ones and everyone else just had it easy. And so basically going back to the Kawhi thing, that's the unfair advantage I'm talking about, is like if every single person was doing what they did with Kawhi, like every single person was giving their players extra money under the table, then it might be a little bit of a different discussion, because then it's like, all right, they're all being shady, whatever. Yeah, we need to stop it, but I'm not particularly mad at one. But it's so tying it to the situation I just said, if I had known that literally every group was cheating and I was hurting my group's score, again, I would not have promoted the cheating. I would have said, let's just do this. But I would have probably let them, like on their own, look at those answers and then go, because we had a shared document. Like, I can't control everything, but I would have probably cared a lot less if they did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have been like, whatever, like literally everyone did it. It's not fair for us to get a lower grade by not cheating. So for them, it's like in the NBA, not everyone's doing that. I'm positive of that. It's not the same thing as me at school. So I Don't like it. I think the Clippers are cooked. And again, I don't like I don't have a lot of good reasons for this. Like, I don't have evidence. I'm not Pablo Torre, but telling you right now, the New York Knicks, they got to be the next target. And this is not to throw shade to the Knicks fans. It's not about that. It's about New York is one of the biggest markets. They have so many giant businesses. They have so many sponsors, so many opportunities like that. And multiple of their players have taken discounts. And if I'm a player on the Knicks and I take a little less money, but then I can go make way more money on a sponsor deal that is, you know, kind of shady, kind of a gray area, I'm definitely going to do that. And they've had multiple people now take pay cuts to stay there. And so I just think that is the number one target they need to go look at. And I mean, I almost would want to say the Lakers too, but I feel like the Lakers don't need to do that, right? Like the Clippers are the Lakers' little brothers, so they have to give like a little extra something to incentivize people to join. I don't think the Lakers have to do that, so I don't know if the Lakers would, but I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think so. But I think the Knicks are the one they really have to look to. And like maybe like Milwaukee with Giannis potentially, because he's staying now, so maybe they gave him a better deal. Which signing his brother, even though he sucks, it's not exactly that, but it's a little bit teetering that way. It's giving the family extra money, even if like he would have normally not made the roster, but whatever. Because the reason I say them is just because like that's a small market, and you really need to convince him to stay, right? So like they're probably doing everything they can. Also, aren't the Bucks owned by the Browns owners? The Browns owners seem to be shady, so who knows? Any team LeBron has been part of, probably. Yeah, Doran, I wouldn't be shocked there either. Like if the Cavs did it on his second stint, I don't think they would have done it on his first stint, because nobody went there. You know what I mean? He didn't get anybody else to come, so it's not like, I don't know if they would have even been thinking about it, but maybe a second stint, maybe, I don't know. But definitely, I think like the Heat, because the Heat also took pay cuts. And again, I know nothing, right? I'm just a random talking head, but I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think I saw an article where Pablo Torre was bringing up Jalen Brunson, and like he didn't go into detail, but he did bring him up and say like it's something to watch, which like, again, I'm not trying to accuse anyone specifically. I just think that situation is right. Whenever I see NBA players taking pay cuts by the factor of millions, I tend to believe there's money being made up somehow on the other end, right? And so the Knicks have had more people taking pay cuts than like anybody, so. Anyway, sorry, earlier, Chris, oh wait, so Biori, I answered that one. Chris for $5, he said, it's Kobe kills Luffy at work, so behind on the stream. Whitebeard, because it's the One Piece's real joke. Now I got it. Thank you, Chris. See, and thank you for super chatting again. That really means a lot. Sorry I did not understand it originally. But I think it is you who always says KKL, because I always have somebody say it in the stream. I'm pretty sure it's you. And now I'm not going to question it later, because after ZKK, I never know what people are saying, how serious they are or whatever. Thank you though, Chris. Thank you for explaining. I appreciate you. That means a lot. It's not that deep. Yeah. I was thinking of it 10 times deeper than I needed to, which that tends to happen from time to time. That's probably why I'm here for my, 4.5 hours now? Yeah, I am. So, all right. Now we're actually ending the stream. Now it's actually happening. So, I might do a video on this chapter, or I may not. I'm going to decide that probably in the next couple hours, because if I don't get a script started tonight, there's no way it'll be out by Sunday. It is a crazy chapter. That'd be a great one to talk about it. And then, but if I don't get that out, I will get the cover story video out. So I've been talking about this one for a while. So every single cover story in One Piece, I go through every single one. It's like 3 to 5 minutes on average per cover story. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, the whole video. I know it's super long. It's crazy. I've never done a video that long. But I've talked about doing a video like that for a while. And you know, the Moria thing happened, and so now I feel like it's the perfect time to talk about cover stories again. So that one, again, if it's not the chapter video, it will be that video. Redacted video for sure. I got to figure out who I'm talking to, but we're definitely going to get a long redacted video. I can't think of what else I was going to say. I don't know. Probably going to, or I am going to post about the next TCG giveaway this weekend if anybody wants to sign up for that. Any members who want to sign up for that. Oh, and also, this was one thing I wanted to say at the very beginning, and I didn't remember till now. So, we recently hit 96K subscribers, guys. That's amazing. Genuinely. A huge thank you to all of you for all the support. I can hardly believe it. But that means we're 4K away from 100K. And as I mentioned last week, we're going to be doing a big giveaway for 100K. One of my next couple videos, I'm going to include a mention of this so-called giveaway. I'm still deciding, like I want to do part of the giveaway in a video where I'll say, like, comment, like, and subscribe to enter for this. So that'll be one. Then I want to give some stuff away on a stream. So that'll literally be whoever shows up to the stream gets it. And then I also want to do a members one and then I also want to do a Discord one. So I'm trying to give away stuff, different things to each kind of group because I know there's a lot of crossover in these groups, but they're all also not the same group, right? So I want to kind of give something to each of these because some people only do the videos, some only do the streams, whatever. So that'll be happening soon because now we're only 4K away. And on average, at least the last couple months, I average about 2,000 subscribers a month, I would say. So that means that I would be getting this in about 2 months, which would put us near the start of November. So it's coming up basically. So I have a little bit of time, but not that much time. So that giveaway will be happening. So just major shout out to you guys for all the support over the years. It's crazy. Been doing this for 3 years, almost at 100K. Can hardly believe it. But yeah, there'll be giveaways. I got some plushies like back there. Got the Laboon, got the One Piece World plush, got TCG cards, I got graded TCG cards, and then I got sealed boxes of cards, which will open on stream like we normally do for the members. That's probably what I'll do for the members giveaway, but it'll be I'll probably do something else too, but I'll open all the boxes, like, because I got OPO5, I got OPO6, I got definitely OPO7, I got OPO9, I got more OP11. I got all of it. I got ton. And if by that point we might also have PRB02, which is like the best version 2. The best is like a reprint set. And those sets have like tons of cool cards in it. Like, it's a lot of cards you've already seen. There are some new ones. There are some like multiple manga rares and stuff. So I have those pre-ordered for a good price. So we're going to open up. We're going to have like a mega opening basically. So the members will get that. So yeah, anyway, long-winded way of saying I gotta go, but be on the lookout for all the future stuff because whenever that 100K happens, there'll be a huge giveaway. So I think in the Straw Hat video I showed this, yep. Whenever I get this video done, which this is just the draft for the thumbnail. I think you guys probably know that, but like it'll get fully drawn in later. But this is the mock-up for it. I think it'll be this video where I probably do the giveaway in the video where I'll say like enter to subscribe. They're like comment, like, and subscribe to enter, and then whenever I hit 100K I'll pick a name is sort of the way that'll work. So that'll be that video, probably like 2 or 3 weeks away. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. But all right, I'm heading out, guys. Thank you guys as always. And wait, hold on. Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. Last thing. I just saw Bushido delete one of Gigi's messages. Which, wait. Oh, okay. I thought it was saying Gigi already was a mod, but I saw Bushido. Bushido deleted Biori's message that said the Discord deserves nothing, which is just so funny for multiple reasons. It's like, I didn't even know. I know Bushido, his name is Blue. I should have known that he was a mod or when he had those powers, but I never think of it that way. And it's just so funny. But it's also funny that you deleted that one because like Bushido's been plugging the Discord the whole time, and then Gigi's like Discord deserves nothing, and Bushido's like delete, like erase from history. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Mr. Bushido, you said shout out to Marth whose stream is starting. That is a perfect segue for me to go. You guys should definitely go watch Marth. And if I am able to, am I able to do that thing where it? Oh my god! I just looked up on YouTube Tainted. I didn't even look up Tainted Marth. Let me see if I can set this stream up so it just dumps you into Marth's stream. I haven't done that in a while, have I? I don't know if he has it set up to do that though. Redirect. You have it? Oh, look, I can. All right, well, I think this will work, but if you guys just stay here, it'll take you over to Marth's stream, who I just did a redacted video with, by the way, and I got a lot of good comments. So Marth is a great theorist. Definitely go check him out for sure. So with that, I'm actually going to go. I said it 5 times. I'm actually going to go. Catch you guys later in the Discord, and see you guys next week.